Once again, it's on. We are back in the house. Salute, salute. Bring that down. Got my man D in the house. See a few other people coming into the house. Salute to you. Get everything cracking, making sure you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? D, give me a 1 if you can hear me. Salute. Yeah, my man D can hear me, so I think that means we're all good. So I'd like to welcome you all to another exciting episode of the Knight Riders Squadcast. And we are about to get it in tonight as per usual. I know a lot of you guys enjoyed this topic, talking about the crash outs of your favorite B-dubs. And to be fair, it's not just the B-dub, it's the westernized woman. As you will see featured in tonight's broadcast, although we will be speaking extensively about the B-dub shenanigans, but it's just a lot of the misguided mentalities of these modern women these days. Unfortunately for them, we've been proven right once again, and that is that they cannot do the things that men do. Unfortunately, it takes their hard heads to make us soft behind. Maybe that's why they're getting all the BLs. I don't know. BBLs, that is. My man Israel Young Lion is in the house. Salute, fam. Yeah, you know what, Israel? I am glad you are in the house because I don't know if you caught last week's broadcast, which was fire, but we touched on a little bit about the obviously the discrepancy between how a lot of lighter skinned guys are viewing things compared to darker skinned guys, and the fact that a lot of them are now feeling as though they're being pushed up on in terms of people bullying them or that they're not getting the respect. And so we went into that. If you hadn't checked it out, check it. I believe you were in the house at that time, but there was one particular individual by the name of his name Light Skin Historian. So he was somebody that came up on the feed. I meant to touch on some of his stuff earlier, but I think he may warrant a little bit more attention because there's some education that needs to happen. And again, what we like to do is push back against propaganda as it pertains to black men's image. And it doesn't matter where it comes from. It can come from the B-dub. It can come from the white media. It can come from whoever. Even if it comes from within in terms of men such as Light Skin Historian who feels as though quote light-skinned men were the ones in history doing everything essentially, and he kind of wants to regulate those of us of a darker hue to maybe extras in history. So it's kind of like the light version of whitewashing, something that I will coin. I would call it light washing. So instead of whitewash history, he's doing a light wash of history. So we might have to start, doing a few things just to kind of establish some facts. And I did say that we might see if we can invite him on a panel, and you too, Israel. So I'll let you know when we're going to be doing panels. But we're going to see if we can get the guy in the house because, again, there's some things that I think needs to be clarified. And it just makes for a good conversation, I think, because he essentially has kind of like a parallel belief system as the Joker, aka EU, which, as I said last week, she's pretty much rolled over. She's not necessarily trying to give us any pushback. However, word got back to me that I think she's over there trying to go in on darker skinned dudes now. Because what she'll do, she doesn't want to go and try to deal straight up with some of the things we say. So what she'll do is start making little adjacent topics. Like now, all of a sudden, she's going on this thing about unambiguous dark skinned dudes. So I think that's her way of trying to take shots. But at any rate, we just take it in stride, and like I said, she's a joker, so she's hilarious. But we're not gonna spend too much time um, being a dead horse in terms of dissecting someone who we've already body bagged. But as per needed, we will bring out more information on her. Because she's over there just crashing out as well. Someone said she's over there talking about how she would rob a bank and all this type of stuff. So the Joker. I mean, y'all thought I was playing when we called her the Joker, but anyway, getting back to light skinned historian, I'm going to take a few moments here before we get into this fire topic, and I just need to clarify a few things for you guys because Israel, like I said, this is up your alley, and also Shadow Zulu. If he joins the house tonight, I think he'll enjoy this as well. I'm gonna have to just do something real quick because, like I said, we're gonna hit this topic very hard and heavy. So just give me a moment, and I'm probably gonna clip this part and put it into a separate video because I think it's important to, as I said, inform people, specifically you black men, because this is a channel for you to get your history straight, to get your current situation straight, as well as future. Because, like I said, this is an anti-propaganda channel, meaning we don't care what origin of the propaganda it is. We push back against it and we set things in their rightful place. And that's what we do over here, among other things. But what I'm going to do real quick for you guys is just kind of push back. I'm going to take a couple of minutes on something that he said because it word got back to me that I think he may, in his own way, he's trying to respond to what we said about Christ last week. And again, this is not a religious conversation. This is not a religious channel, although there are people in the building of various belief systems. I don't get into mine because I think that's personal. Although I am a very spiritual person, I don't go ahead and try to bludgeon people over the head with it. But I am very studied, as you guys may know. I've been reading the Bible extensively um, since I was like 9 years old. So I know it very well in terms of from a historic standpoint. I look at it as as a history book, as well as the basis on which someone can live a very moral life. So again, I'm not going to get into all of that, but just from a historic standpoint, I got to push back at something that I heard light-skinned historians say, and again, I think he may have called himself responding to what I said last week when he claimed that Christ was a light-skinned man. So I'm gonna deal with that real quick, and then we're gonna get right into this topic. So let me show you what I think he was. Well, I'm gonna show you the video of what he said real quick, and then I'm going to get into a quick dissection, just a small one. This is light work. We're not gonna go hard and heavy until we see if he either wants to come on the broadcast or if he decides to just kind of take a direct response to some of the things that we're saying. Then we'll start giving more of the heavy work. But I'm just gonna do some little light work real quick, and this is for your edification, guys. It's not to you know present any type of beef or anything like that. I'm just trying to clarify a few things that I think you guys will benefit from before we get into tonight's topic. So let me go ahead and show you this clip, and I'm going to respond to it. Okay, so make sure this is turned up. And you guys in the house, let me know if you can hear the clips. Because like I said, whenever we reopen the program, there seems to be a reset of the audio. So I always want to make sure you guys can hear. So let me go ahead and show you what he said, and I'm going to take a moment to deal with it. Let's go. And brass is like fine brass. And I got a video coming. Stay tuned on King James. When you read the King James Bible, King James version. I was supposed to drop it last week, right? I dropped it to Beethoven and Mulatto. Okay, so he says it's very low. So let me adjust this. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I got you, D. Yeah, let me go ahead and yeah, because like I said, for some reason the audio decides it's gonna reset. Because like I said, it's not browser based, so it's like not like StreamYard in that sense, where it's we have to reopen it because I don't just let it run when I'm not using it. So for some reason, it likes to reset itself. But yeah, let me make sure you can hear it now, D. Stay tuned on King James. We read the King James Bible. All right, is that better, D? And salute to everybody in the house right now. King James Version. Are you giving me the thumbs up? Is that good? You can hear it now, D. Is that what you're telling me? Give me another one. You said it isn't. So that's what I'm saying, D. You been giving me these conflicting messages. So you gave me a thumbs up, and you said it isn't. So let me play it and let me know if it's all right. And I got a video coming. Stay tuned on King James. We read the King James Bible, King James Version. Okay, so you said I can hear it, but I can't hear it. See, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, let me go ahead because the other reason why I like doing this is because before we get into the work, I like testing out the audio, so I know if you can hear these clips, you'll be able to hear the clips about the topic. So yeah, it's sometimes good to do this just before we get into the main work. But yeah, let me crank it up a little bit more. Yeah, just let me know if you can at least understand what's being said. And I got a video coming. Stay tuned on King James. We read the King James Bible, King James Version. I was supposed to drop it last week, right? I dropped it to Beethoven as mulatto. And if you don't know, King James was a light-skinned black man. All right. Yeah, the shadows just entered the room. Shout out to Shadow Zulu. Salute, bro. Yeah, so let me yeah, you came right on time. I hope Israel is still in the house too. He might be sitting in the background because I see nice little number of people quietly watching. So Shadow, I don't know if you caught the part that I said, but if you caught last week's broadcast when we were dealing with the whole light skinned, dark skinned men dynamic, and I was talking about the fact that it was this particular YouTuber by the name of Light Skin Historian. He tends to kind of have a revisionist history about trying to claim like a lot of the people in history were actually light skinned, and he said that some of the people in the Bible, like Christ and all these people, were light skinned and so forth. So I kind of shot back a little bit, showed that that wasn't the case, and then I think he did a response, like which is this video. Someone got back to me and let me know that even though he didn't call it out directly, but um, it's cool because it's almost like he was doing a rebuttal to what I said. So I'm gonna go ahead and just rebut what he said. And it's just light work, like I said. We're just gonna spend a little few moments on this, but I think it'll be edifying and educational for you guys as well. Okay, good. You say you remember it. All right. So can you guys hear this clip? Because it's very important that you hear what he's saying. So let me run it back. D said it was low, but I want to make sure. Can you hear it? Yeah, brass is light, so you know, fine brass. And I got a video coming. Okay, so D saying he can't hear it. So yeah, not sure what's the reason here because we got the volume up. But like I said, this was good because I want to make sure that we can hear before we get into everything else. Testing. Okay. I think this might be better. Let me play it now. Let me know how you guys hear this. Let's go.
Stay tuned on King James. Like when you read the King James Bible, King James Version. I was supposed to drop it last week, but I ended up dropping the Beethoven is Mulatto video. And if you don't know, King James was a light-skinned black man. Alright? Specifically, if he was living today, he'd be a light-skinned.
Okay, we good now, right? Okay, yeah, I had to see what happened because, like I said, I got to figure out why it does this. But the damn program seems to reset after we cut it down. After we shut it down, then it does this. But anyway, as long as you can hear it, cool. So let me get this light work out the way, and then we're gonna get into the topic. But I want you to pay attention to what this guy is saying. All right, let's go.
Drop it last week. James Bible, King James Version. Stay tuned on King James. Fine brass. Fine brass is light. It's like
the King James Version. The King James Version below says like brass.
Yeah, brass is light. It's like yellow. Fine brass.
Got my man King seeing red in the house. Salute, bro.
And I got a video coming. Stay tuned on.
Yeah, I got you. I know how to do it, but it's just like I said, the system, it just keeps resetting and it mutes it like automatically or something. It's kind of weird. So I know what it is now, D, but salute. Thanks for letting me know. Let's go.
King James. Like when you read the King James Bible, King James Version. I was supposed to drop it last week, but I ended up dropping the Beethoven is Mulatto video. And if you don't know, King James was a light-skinned black man. Alright? Specifically.
Okay, now first of all, did you hear the part where he said brass is light, right? So let me go to this real quick.
Dropping the Beethoven is Mulatto video. I got
below says like brass.
Yeah, and brass is light. It's like yellow. Fine brass.
Okay, so you know how we do over here, right? So I'm gonna, if he sees this video, I'm going to educate him on some things along with you guys as well. So he said that brass is light, right? Okay, I want you to hold that, right? So the first thing I'm gonna do is debunk something that a lot of people don't know, but I'm gonna show you guys now. And again, we ain't going to turn this into no Bible class or anything, but we like to put in the heavy work over here. But this is light work, so we're just going to knock it out real quick. Okay, he said brass was yellow, right? Okay, that might be true. Now, do you see what's on my screen? This is the Blue Letter Bible, right? A lot of you guys might be familiar with this. When you go to the Blue Letter Bible, or if you just look up the etymology of the words that were actually used, brass, well, let me read this part right here. It says brass, which is an alloy of copper and zinc, because that's what brass is, was not known till the 13th century. Wait a minute. The scriptures, and again, for some people don't believe, but this ain't about belief and religion. We're just talking about history, and we're working this within the confines of the argument. 13th century was 13 AD. Brass was not known until the 13th century. Back in biblical times, they didn't have brass, and if you look at the word they used when they translated it, they used brass, but the actual word was more like copper or maybe bronze or something. These are darker metals, right? And I'm just reading this to show you how the guy, he just took the word brass and he said, well, yeah, since that's light yellow, then, that means Christ was light skinned. Okay. Now, it says, which the alloy of copper and zinc was not known till the 13th century. It was designated by this word in scripture is properly copper. Like I said, if you know copper, actual like pure copper is like a brownish or a reddish brown color, right? So check this out. It said it was used for fetters and all that. So that's the actual word that should have been used, was copper, right? But he's taking the fact that it used brass and running with it to mean as though Christ was the same color as the brass. That's what he's saying, right? But it gets even better, right? So, because let me show you something I happen to have. Because if you read this, what it actually says, it says burnished or brass like it was burnt in a furnace, right? So let's see what that actually looks like. Okay, so you see we come equipped, right? We come equipped. So you see this, right? This right here is brass, is burnished brass. If it was not even really burnt a lot, but just in the how they would burnish brass to give it that rich dark color like this, that's what they would do. But this is how brass looks after it's been burnished. So even if we use what he said and says, okay, well, it was brass, which again, I just showed you that the actual word was maybe copper, which is already dark. But even if you say it was brass, and then you look at what it actually says, it said it was like it burned in a furnace. That's what it says. So if you at least, at the very least, you will get a color like this, right? So I just want to show you guys that again. This is just a little light work, but I'm going to show you a little bit more of something he said, and then we're going to get on to the topic because I know that's what you guys want to check out. But this part right here is important, so I just wanted you guys to see this. So, oh yeah, this part right here. He's talking about one of the kings of Judah, and this is for my people who know the history. Like I said, some of you guys might not be up on this stuff, but I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. But this guy,
seen one of his videos, and he was talking about the encounter that a mulatto, a mixed race brother had with these Hebrew Israelite camps. These black Hebrew Israelite camps, and
and again, I'm not affiliated with no camps or anything, so I don't know if some of you guys are. But again, I'm just looking at this from a historic and academic standpoint. But I'm still going to dissect a little bit what this guy says. Let's go.
I want to tell you, mixed race people, you have to watch out for a lot of the doctrines that they spill because they are cults. I'm not saying that the Bible isn't real, because it definitely is. But a lot of these camps, they like to go off and add on to the scriptures, and it was pushing that biracial people were mamzers, even though that's not what the Bible says.
Now, actually, and again, I'm just looking at it from a scholastic standpoint. His disagreement with some of those camps is that they teach that when you go to the scripture and it talks about mixing and it uses the word mamzer. Now, I've read this and I've studied it. That's the word that's actually used. And the point of the matter is, it's actually correct that that's what it says. Now, he's going to say it means something else. So I'm going to let you hear what he has to say, and I'm going to debunk it. But let's go.
A mamzer is what you call a child of incest, not a mixed race child.
That is absolutely false. So a mamzer, if you look it up in the scripture he's talking about, is in Deuteronomy chapter 23. I think like the third verse or something. So he's saying that means an inbred, which is false. It tells you, even when you look up the etymology and you go to like the Strong's Concordance, it'll tell you that it's someone who's mixed. Now, when it comes to inbreds, to be honest, it depends on the situation, because there were situations like Lot, who was the nephew of Abraham, right? His descendants, which is Ammon and the other one, Moab, right? That was a result of him and his daughters. And again, this is according to the book, right? So he's going to say later on that somehow, like, one of the kings was part Moab or something. I'm like, well, the law actually prevents that if you read it, but that's not when you talk about the scriptures that define what a mamzer is. It's not saying nothing about an inbred. It's talking specifically about different backgrounds. So that's what it says. But let's go. We're just gonna do a little bit more of this, guys, and we're gonna get into it. But I just had to address some of this foolery. Let's go.
There's plenty of mixed race people in the Bible, and plenty of mixed race. I'm gonna show you a mixed race king today by the name of King Redbone.
Okay, first of all, there's not plenty of mixed race people. And again, this isn't my personal judgment about mixed race people. I'm just basing it on what's actually said. And he said that the king's name, and he shows this picture of this guy. The king that he's talking about is King Rehoboam. He's talking about he's called him Redbone. So I don't know if he's being funny or he's just ignorant and can't read. But the name of the king is Rehoboam. Is one of it's Solomon's son, and Solomon had I think his wife was an Ammonite, and Ammon, as I said, was a descendant of Lot, which was Abraham's nephew. These were all black people, but he's going to act like the Moabites were mixed or like another race or something, and it's just all wrong. And then what did Shadow say is that the children of Israel are not to mix with strange women creating mamzer. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's what it says. And again, regardless as to how you feel personally, if you're going to cite these sources, at least base it on what's actually being said. So that's his problem right here. But we're going to get a little bit more.
He's the son of King Solomon. And the Most High,
And that's what I just said, right?
chose him to be the leader over the tribe of Judah. And
And another thing he's getting wrong, that dude was a bad king, to be honest. Rehoboam was not a good king. He had caused a lot of problems. Just like Solomon did towards the end of his reign, if you know about like the story about when he had all the wives and all the idolatry, right? And then his son Rehoboam was the one who kind of took it even further, right? But he's trying to make it seem like it was a good thing, and just because he was mixed, and he wasn't mixed. Number one, number two, he was a wicked king. But let's get a little bit more.
Israel. All right. So do not believe these people when they talk about mamzers. Mamzer is talking about an incest child and how they would not be able to incest.
Yeah. So Israel and Shadow, I think y'all disagree about the blue letter. I've just used it because that's what the guy used, right? But I have a Tanakh. I got a 1611 KJV. I got a bunch of different sources, Strongs, all of that. But I'm basing it. I like to use other people's sources. So when they start citing stuff, then I'll use their source to debunk them. So that's why I use it. In Israel, so you believe that too, right? So you believe it. We're gonna have to have that conversation. I'm gonna save it, Israel, but I'm gonna bring you on a panel, and we're gonna have to have that conversation because that's not what it means. I can prove it because that's what this dude believes, and he's wrong. But anyway, let's get a little bit more.
The congregation until not even the 10th generation is good enough to enter. But I'm going to show you examples of biracial mixed nationality children getting into the congregation.
And look what he just did. He conflated biracial with mixed nationality. And then I think he's going to cite Moses, who had a Cushite. It says Ethiopian, but she was from Cush. It wasn't a problem because she was from a different race. She wasn't. They were the same race. She was from a different nationality. So a lot of these guys, they conflate race with nationality. The problem with that is back in the day in this area, all of these people, whether it was the Egyptian, the ancient Hebrews, all of those people were basically the same race. So the issues were about different tribes or different nationalities. That was the issue. So again, this is just about a quick education, but let's get a little bit more.
All right.
Yeah, Israel, I'm going to invite you up, but since that's not tonight's topic, I won't do it tonight, but let me know when you can come up and we'll have that conversation. But yeah, we'll have a whole broadcast about interpreting history and things like that. We'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. But let me get a little bit more of this guy before we get to the topic.
For example, what about Gershom? Moses had a child named Gershom, a son, and he had Eleazar, I believe. And she was a Midianite woman. So those are biracial mixed nationality.
Okay, so he's wrong with that because, like I just said, the son that he's talking about, Gershom, he was the product. Like I said, if you read it, it says she was an Ethiopian or Cushite, but that was not a different race. And the problem wasn't because of that. It was the fact that they were from a different tribe or different nationality. It had nothing to do with race. In fact, race as we know it didn't even exist like that back then. So in terms of how people viewed it, but let's go.
Children, but they were still called the sons of Levi. And not only was they a part of the Levite tribe, they were the leaders There was the leaders of it.
Okay, so he keeps trying to position like these mixed people who were not there as if they were running everything. It's crazy. He even goes so far as to say that King David. I'm gonna see if I can get to that part. That King David was light skinned. But before I wrap up this, I'm gonna show you uh, a way to debunk that. And this is for you guys too. So if you ever get into this type of conversation, you'll know what to say. But he if you know what it says in the verse, it says that David was ruddy, right? I'm gonna show you a quick clip on that. Let me show you that. Hold on. Oh, you know what? Before I even get into that, let me show you this, because a lot of people, they'll just say, "Oh, the scriptures are wrong" and all this. Well, I'm not looking at it from a religious standpoint. I'm looking at it from a historic standpoint. For people who don't believe that these were actual people, there's archaeological evidence, and that's what I base it on, the facts. So here's some example of that.
There is only one piece of evidence that proves David was king of Israel. Yes, your Bible is also a piece of evidence, but an actual archaeological find where his name was inscribed in rock. There was an enemy who was bragging about taking out a king of Israel that was an heir to the king of David. That was found here at an ancient city. This is the ancient city of Dan. If you want to discover more amazing sites just like...
Yeah, so I'm familiar with what he's talking about. So there's actual archaeological evidence of these people existing, just like King Taharka. I mentioned him before. He was king of ancient Nubia or Kush, right? He's mentioned in the scriptures, but he's an actual person. Nebuchadnezzar, all these different people who are mentioned, Cyrus the Persian, all these guys, Alexander, all these guys are mentioned in scripture, but people want to make it seem like it's just a fairy tale book, right? But there's archaeological evidence to support it. And that's why when I speak on it, I speak from a historic standpoint. And these were black people. So, and they were not lighter complected. I'm not being discriminatory against lighter complected, but our people didn't start getting lighter until we came in contact with different Gentile nations, which actually, in some cases or many cases, forced themselves upon our women in the sense of, having the mixed race children, which came much later, such as the transatlantic slave trade and all of that. But again, that's a subject for another day. But I want to show this part as well to just show you guys that I'm not just talking. There's other, just scholastic evidence to what I'm saying. Let me get this part. I think this is it.
Was Jesus actually black? The evidence might shock you. Let's look at the facts. Jesus was born in the Middle East, in a region connected to Africa and populated by people of color. Revelation describes his hair as wool-like and his feet as bronze, burned in a furnace. These are clear descriptions of darker skin and afro-textured hair. Even ancient depictions from early Christianity in Ethiopia and Egypt portrayed Jesus with dark skin.
And again, this isn't a judgment as to whether or not you believe he existed, because I know there's some who don't believe he's an actual figure. There's some believe that he was. We're just basing it on what's actually said in there, right? So I like to use people's sources. So whether people believe it or not, what sources are you using? If you're using the scriptures, okay, let's use that and just read with understanding in terms of what it's saying, right? So nothing in the scriptures or nowhere in history does it say that he was lighter complected. It just doesn't. That came about during the Renaissance when they start, when the white supremacists start depicting them as that. Even all the other European, like the Eastern Europeans, they all depicted them as dark. It wasn't until much later in Western Europe that they started doing that. That was a new thing, because historically, even since ancient Greek times, all the gods were black. But let's go.
So, why has Western art consistently shown him as white? Could this be a deliberate erasure of his true identity? The real question isn't just what Jesus looked like, but why his image has been whitewashed for centuries. What do you think?
Okay, so like I said, you could say whitewash, and like this guy, light-skinned historian, he's doing what I call light washing. So he's doing light skin. He's trying to make it seem like everybody in history, instead of them being what they were, which in most cases were unambiguous black people, he's trying to make it seem like they were all mixed or light skins. And I'm not saying nobody was light skinned. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that a lot of the key figures that he's trying to paint as light skinned were not. That's the point I'm making. But let me think. I think there's one more clip I want to show you before we get to the topic. Let me pull it out. Yeah, I thought I had it in here. Hold on. Okay, yeah, this one right here.
Shalom, yeah. King David was depicted as a so.
So he's gonna make an interesting point that I want you guys to hear, and then we're gonna get into the topic. But watch this. And again, I'm not part of no camp. I ain't part of none of that. I'm just looking at it from a historic standpoint, right? Well, let's go.
King David was depicted as a so-called dark-skinned man.
So this is the Russians, how they depicted him, right? So this is in Russian.
You know? But we're going to go to the scriptures and prove that it's not telling you that he's white. Neither is it's telling you that he's like a real light-skinned brother. You know? King David was a dark-skinned man.
Yeah, he said it right there. He's going to read out of one of the, I think the NIV edition. I looked it up in the Tanakh. I even got a whole Tanakh on my bookshelf right here, and I really looked it up. And when you read it and it has with the Hebrew translations and all that, when you read it in the real context and you understand what it's saying, even though in the King James it says he was ruddy, which they make it seem like that means red, like he was either white and his skin was red, or he was lighter complected, and that's why it says ruddy. But that's not what it meant. So he's gonna break it down pretty good, and then we're gonna get into the topic. Let's go.
And let's read this man, a light-skinned man, light-skinned brother. A real light-skinned brother. It's telling you that he's like a real light-skinned brother. You know, King David was a dark-skinned man. And let's read this. This is 1 Samuel 16 and verse 12. It says, and he sent. Let's start from 11. So this is the account where Jesse.
Oh, Israel, I see you. Yeah, I see what you wrote there. A lot of people. That's over a lot of people here. Israel, like I said, that's a whole nother discussion what you just said right there. As far as somebody being a real Mashiach, okay, that's a whole nother discussion. We ain't even gonna get into that. Let's go.
Salakia, Samuel was sent to anoint the new king, you know, which was King David, and he's going amongst Jesse's sons, basically looking for King David. You know, so I'm gonna start from 11. It says, and Samuel said unto Jesse, are here all thy children? And he said, there remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep.
And salute to everybody in the house. I'm glad you guys are getting this information before we get in on these passport systems. So I appreciate you guys sitting tight. Our numbers are stable, and you know more people coming into the house. So salute. Let's go.
And Samuel said unto Jesse, send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy. Right? It says now he was ruddy, and withal of a beautiful countenance, and goodly to look to. And the Lord said, arise, anoint him, for this is he. And really, when you read the scripture, it actually breaks down what ruddy is going into. It says, and withal of a beautiful countenance. That's exactly what it means to say that King David was ruddy. He was glowing. You know, he was a good-looking brother. You know, a handsome brother. And actually, you got here in the NIV, let's read the same scripture, but in the NIV, it says, so he sent for him and had brought him in. He was glowing with health and had a fine appearance and handsome features. That's the spirit. I didn't even know that I didn't even plan on going into this translation. You know, but that's the spirit. That's exactly what it means when it says King David was ready.
Yep. So it's just like when they use the word fair, and they automatically think that means light skin, right? When fair, and if you look at the actual Hebrew words that's used, it just means beautiful, right? But then through the Eurocentric lens, then they'll take the word fair and they'll conflate it with lighter skin, right? It's the same thing. And then they're doing the same thing with the word ruddy, but like he's breaking it down, it was just talking about how he looked to be very healthy and energetic and all that type of stuff. That's what it was representing. But let's get a little bit more.
You know, he had a glow. He was glowing with health, had a fine appearance, and a handsome features. He was a handsome brother, man. He was glowing. You know, he looked healthy. It says, then Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai said, rise and anoint him. This is the one. I also want to get this in another translation.
Israel, it's not even Shadow Zulu being considered ruddy. Ruddy is just used as an it wasn't even talking about his skin tone. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to see. It was talking about his overall healthy appearance. It's just like if in the scriptures when they use the term fair, but when you actually go look it up and what the word that they're using, it had nothing to do with the light, the complexion. It was just talking about whether or not somebody was beautiful. And when they translated it, they just put fair. So that's what I'm saying. But let's go.
You know, that's the spirit.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Like I said, Israel, when you come up on the panel, I'm gonna have to show you. But anyway, I'm not gonna get too deep into that. We're gonna get a little bit more of this, and we're gonna get into the topic. Let's go.
Check this out. This is the NLT. It says, so Jesse sent for him. He was dark. He was dark and handsome with.
And he's reading it out of another translation that it outright says he was dark, and it's talking about King David, right? I'm gonna run that back real quick. Let's go.
Dark. He was. I want to get this in another translation. You know, that's the spirit. Check this out. This is the NLT. It says, so Jesse sent for him. He was dark. He was dark and handsome with beautiful eyes. So even these damn Edomites.
And people even admit that Solomon himself said that he was black and beautiful, right? In Song of Solomon, I think chapter 1 and 5 or something. But yeah, so how can everybody be saying that Solomon himself, who was the direct son of David, somehow he was dark and black, but then David is light skinned or white? That doesn't even make sense. In the tribe of Judah, where he came from, is all black. And we can prove that. It's crazy how, we got to re-educate people. But again, somebody got to do it, right? But let's go.
Who translated this in these different translations, they understood that ruddy didn't mean that he was necessarily a white man or a light-skinned brother. They understood that it just meant he was glowing, he was handsome, and in the NLT, these scholars even go on to say that he was dark. That's actually a plain and beautiful scripture and cut to show that the Israelites were dark people. I'm gonna read that again in the NLT. You can pretty much close the lesson with that, right? It says, so Jesse sent for him. He was dark and handsome. King David was dark, a dark-skinned man, and he was handsome.
Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. I just want to prove my point because, like I said, I don't like saying stuff. And even if you want to take it further, whether you believe in Christ or not, most people that do believe that he was a descendant of David, okay, then that lets you know right there. If David was a dark-skinned black man, then his lineage was too. But anyway, that's a whole other story. So, thank you guys for allowing me to put in that light work, but it had to be done. But anyway, let's get into this heavy work with these passport SIS crashing out. We're going to just get right into a lot of these clips. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you guys one of the main reasons why they were not successful and are still not successful when it comes to the passport movement on their part. Because again, a lot of times we're not concerned necessarily about what they're doing. We just don't want them with our name in their mouth using propaganda to try to denigrate our image. And those of us who have been traveling even before there was a such thing as a passport, bro, we take offense when they try to start going in and making it seem like we're just guys who were dusty, couldn't get no woman, and we're just going over to these different countries just to get and take advantage of women or whatever the hell they're saying, when we're going to show proof that it is precisely them that are the ones doing that. But the first thing we're going to do is talk about the image that they've created for themselves, to where when a lot of these immigrants, whether they're from Asia or wherever, they come in contact, whether those nail technicians, Koreans that are selling hair to them, they all know these women. They all have dealt with them because they come into their store, and a lot of times it's not the most pleasant experience, right? So we're going to go over these clips, and we're just going to show a series of behaviors that these women have been doing around these foreigners that help to create the image that when they go to these different countries, the word is already out about how they are. Unlike us. See, for all the flack they tried to talk about black men traveling, we have a stellar image when it comes to international travel. And at the very least, it's better than theirs, right? And I'm going to show you a series of clips as to why this is the case. The first thing I'm going to do is get into some of these altercations that these women have had in these like nail shops and all of that. And this is what some of these Asian women had to deal with these women coming in there getting their feet and nails done and all this. But let's go. Check this out. This is crazy.
The whole feet. Why you the whole feet? Why you think I brung you the feet? What the whole? I gave you the whole feet. The whole feet. The whole take $20, you know? I don't know what you charge. I gave you the whole feet. No. You told me the price, and I paid you the price that you told me. You said $48. Yes, I told you. And I paid you that. You want pedicure? You say no. You want.
That damn Vietnamese or Cambodian accent or whatever is hilarious. But let's go.
I didn't ask for no pedicure. I didn't get no pedicure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't want no pedicure. I didn't get no pedicure. You said no pedicure. I said I just want my feet like that, and that's what I told you, and that's what I paid for. I don't see shit funny because I don't pay too much damn money.
Can you just do a toll so we can go?
She can get my money back.
So, because I'm saying she's a dissatisfied customer. Just do a toll. She won't.
I don't know what's going on, but maybe she's trying to charge her double because of the size of them boats she got. I don't know, but let's go.
Come back.
Okay, but right now you know she don't want the collar, right? I gain for you 7 baht for the collar because I got her just 7 for the collar. She don't want, I gain 7.
You charge me you saying you charge me $7 to just polish 8 toes? I can go get some damn dollar polish and polish 8 toes by my damn self.
Okay, so she said she could do it herself. I'm not sure she can quite reach her toes. I mean, look at the size of this woman's arm. This is ridiculous. But see, we let that stuff pass. Like if it was our great grandmother, our grandma, you know, we understood that some women, you know, gain weight as they get older. But this woman right here, and we've seen it before, they could be in their 20s and 30s, bad body built like this. You've seen it where these women will be in these stores and they'll have those carts that they're, you know, older people are supposed to be driving around in. It's ridiculous. But this is the type of image that these Asians and these different people from all these communities have of black women, because they get into these altercations quibbling over certain prices and things like that. And so a lot of this word travels fast back to their countries, and these women can't understand why when they go there to try to date the men of these cultures, why they get roundly rejected. But it gets worse as the night goes on. You're going to see even more foolery and effery. But let's go.
You saying you charge me $7 for that? You have the
Yeah, Chato says, I love hearing Vietnamese chatter that language. It's funny to me, man. It's hilarious. And then King Sierra said she got Myra feet, needs a jackhammer. Yeah, them feet is crazy. D says obesity epidemic. Yeah, this right here, man. Come on, bro. Let's get it.
And that's paid for. That's paid for.
$13, right?
Exactly. I don't know what you charge. I know you told me $48 for for my feet and my nails, and that's what I gave you.
No. Your nail already. You just make the toe trendy.
That damn accent is hilarious. Let's go.
Trendy because right now
it ain't no already. You saying my nails already, and I just paid the toe. You got one ticket. I gave you a $50 bill. You charged me $48, and then you gave me $2 back. It ain't no this is separate. You gave me one ticket, and I paid you what you told me.
Okay, so what do you want her to do, Tasha?
I told you already.
Tasha,
okay.
Tell her what you want her to do.
So you saying you're not gonna give my money back or do nothing to my nails?
I get for you 7 beds.
I'm not telling you. You saying you're not gonna give my money back or do nothing to my nails? I'm finna break up some shit in here and take out some shit. You finna have to call the police.
No.
Okay, so you see how fast that escalated to potential violence, right? Which we don't know what happened because that's where the clip cut out. But I'm just building a case here, guys. So I'm gonna show you some more. And again, for all the talk that they have as far as us pushing back against the propaganda they put at us and pulling the cover off of the lies that they tell about themselves, somehow we're quote bashing. But in the meantime, they've done more damage to their image, based on things like this that I'm going to be showing you than anything we could ever say to them or say about them, that is. But let's get some more. And if they're not fighting with the patrons of the shops, then they're fighting each other. So watch this, or cussing each other out. Let's go. Shao Zulu talking about how they sound. Yeah, that's how it sounds. What you wrote right there. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce all that, but yeah, it's an idiot epidemic as well, definitely. But look at how they're carrying on. Now, this type of shop, I don't know. Maybe this is a Korean nail shop. I don't know. But look at how these two women, these potential passport sisters, how they're behaving among these foreign people, as if these foreign people don't spread the word about their behavior. And then before they even get to these different countries to travel, trying to deal with these men of these different cultures, because we're going to go through the list. I'm starting with Asia. Well, first of all, I'm just showing their image, right? Then we're going to deal with Asia. We're going to deal with Europe, and we're going to deal with the Caribbean, particularly Jamaica. So sit tight. We got some crazy stuff. Watch this. This is how they're acting up in these shops, and they wonder why their image is what it is.
I'm right with it. I'm right. Shit, you the one doing all the motherfucking talking. You do something. Shit. The fuck wrong with you? I don't see you do shit.
Now, ain't a black man in sight, so they can't blame us for this one, right? They're in this Asian nail shop, and they're going at each other for whatever damn reason, something stupid probably. And this is how they're conducting. Even though it's the Asian people are just trying to mind their own business. But if it was my shop, I'd have told them to shut up or take this outside. They're disturbing my other customers or whatever. But the Asians are just sitting there doing their duty. But just listen to how these women are talking to each other. And is it me? But I don't remember when these women got so brazen and bold to where they start bucking up at each other and even at men at the slightest infraction. Like, I don't remember growing up seeing girls behave like that. So later on in women being that aggressive. So this was a cultural shift that to me probably happened around the early 2000s. But I got a theory about that. We may have to do a show on it based on when this started taking place. But that's a whole nother issue. He said, why are they even going to other countries? Because they're trying to be like you guys. That's why. And while they're trying to demonize you for doing it, they want to do it too. That's what it is. Let's go.
This is like that. I turned my back on her with one leg. Bitch. What about you like you talking to? Ain't no bitch gonna touch me. Ain't no bitch gonna touch me. Fuck you, man. It was right there. There with the fuck out there.
Now, dude, do you want to wake up to that? I mean, do you look at how that woman is talking? This is their culture. This is what they've created, where they encourage each other to talk to each other like that with that type of aggression? What guy is attracted to that? The only type of guy that would be attracted to that is one of those, moist dudes, one of them soft dudes, right? Not no masculine dude. When I hear somebody talking like that, I got my guard up. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to squabble if I see somebody talking like that. That's crazy. But let's get some more.
Let me get my nail done so you fuck out of here. I can pay these folks and go home. The fuck? Somebody finna fuck with me. On my baby. She.
On our baby.
My motherfucking soul ain't nobody finna fuck with me. Damn, what the fuck I say, man? I hate me way around this bitch. I don't fuck with nobody.
But just think about this, right? Because remember, I'm showing you guys this for a reason. These Asians, you see this look like an Asian dude back there, right? Do you think he would want to date one of them? I mean, I'm just asking a question. So, and do you think he's going to encourage his Asian brothers back home to deal with that? Because he's telling them what he's got to deal with on a daily basis. You don't think these people be talking to each other? So when they get on them planes to try to go overseas to go to these guys' countries, they wonder why they get no play at all. But let's go.
Fuck you mean? Man, she don't want me. She don't want me. She don't want me. The fuck? Okay, but
I don't even understand her, so I know those Asian dudes don't understand her. Let's go.
you do get the fuck up though. Cause I will beat the fuck out you. I'm not gonna play with you. I'm not gonna play with you.
Now, fellas, there you go right there. So when this right here decides to get on a plane, after behaving like that and after looking like that, are you surprised that the guys of these other countries are not beating down her door? I mean, is it just me or what? I mean, when you see that, does that make you feel as though, and I'm just trying to put you in a position of one of these foreign gentlemen who would see this getting off the plane. What exactly would be your interpretation of that? Although, stay to the when we get to Jamaica, because it's going to get pretty interesting, because there is a place that women like that can go to get busted down for a small fee. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later, so just sit tight. But let's get it.
What's up? Put the pistol in! Put the pistol in! You talking all that shit to my mama? Put the pistol in! Put the pistol in! Let me.
Is she asking her where the pistol's at? Oh my goodness, let's go.
Come on, get my nails. Come on, get my nails.
Look at this Asian dude with his hands on his hip. He's just looking like, what the hell going on? But again, this is the image. This is what these Asians see on a daily basis, having the majority of their clientele being these women. This is what they get to see. See, these are just little videos here and there, but a lot of these guys see this on a daily basis. Let's go. Let's get some more.
You gonna do my nails away, Carl? Ain't nobody finna fuck with me. Go ahead.
One was in there, even on a walker. That's crazy. But yeah, we got more. This is just the tip of the iceberg. But if they're not beating on each other, sometimes they will go so far as to start putting hands and feet on the shop owners as well. In case you guys didn't know, though, this is not just an American. What I mean by America, a United States phenomenon. We got research to show that it goes on in Canada, it goes on in England, all these different places, right? These westernized countries. But here's an example in Toronto, Canada. Let's go.
A Toronto nail salon owner feeling rattled after a violent altercation with a customer. Video has emerged of the incident between the owner and a woman he says did not pay for a service.
Okay, so a lot of these altercations come about because these women are going in there, they're getting these services, whether it's their hair extensions or whatever, or they're sometimes outright stealing that, but then they'll go and get their crusty hair or crusty nails done, their feet, they'll have these agents scraping the bottom of their feet, getting all that crust from under there and all that kind of nastiness. And then these women will try to get out on the bill, and you wonder why are these agents be trying to go upside their head, because what they'll do, they'll go in there, get these services, and then try to jet. And that's what this woman's doing. And this is not even in the United States. This is in Canada. So let's go.
Of the incident between the owner and a woman he says did not pay for a service. It shows things getting heated. Now police are investigating. Our Sean O'Shea has the story.
We have a lot of happy clients.
But this nail salon on Roncesvalles Avenue in Parkdale had a very public dispute with one customer last week.
She booked an appointment to come at 6:30 p.m. on Friday.
The woman seen on security video came in for nail extensions and a pedicure. Final bill $165. Owner
So she spending $165. Well, she didn't spend because she tried to get out on the bill. But look, I don't know about you guys, but I like women that know how to groom themselves properly. And it's kind of like looked at as a treat. Because have I done that for women? Yes, I've paid for them to get their hair and nails done and all that. But that's more like a special thing, right? For the most part, you got to be able to pay attention to a woman who has to outsource her personal hygiene, right? I understand the women wanting to be beautiful, going with the waxing and all that. That's cool. I got no problem with that. In fact, I prefer women that do that stuff. I believe in personal care. Very good. But when they got to spend that kind of money and they're going in there and they're not even paying for it, that's a bad look right there. But let's get a little bit more.
One Vu says the woman's credit card didn't work when she went to pay.
She asked me to give her a few minutes.
So this is one Vu. Now, you think this Asian dude would be looking at those women as attractive? See, that's what they don't understand. When they're doing all this foolery, that's creating an image. And that does not make yourself attractive, not just to us as black men, but it doesn't make these other guys or these other communities look at you as anything other than some type of hooligan that's going to try to rip them off. And I know you guys have been seeing lately, I think one situation just happened in Las Vegas where these two B-dubs, well, I think one was an exotical and the other one was a black woman, and they set up this Hispanic dude. I'm sure you guys seen it, and they robbed him and they killed him, and they got the surveillance footage of when he was together with them, and then they went into the hotel room, and then they just both were walking out by themselves, and they were like, I think the guy's mother was like, well, why did you guys have to kill him, right? Because I think he was asleep or whatever, and they was gonna rob him, but they went ahead and killed the dude. But that's the image that a lot of these women have. But let's get it.
To get the e-transfer from her friend.
Then he says the woman left the shop without paying.
I have to follow her, and then I confronted her and asked her to go back inside the store to pay.
They're out the door.
She running away, and then we tried to stop her.
His brother and an employee record what happens. They stand in the woman's way several times. The pursuit continues.
The little Asian dudes didn't stand a chance, bro. Let's go.
They cross the street. The woman refuses to return to the nail salon, and tensions escalate. The video shows the confrontation between the customer and the salon employees. Several times try to physically prevent the woman from leaving.
Two Asian dudes can't even stop her, bro. Let's go.
When I tried to stop her, she punched me real hard on my chest and on my neck.
Damn.
And then she scratched me with the nails, and she...
But remember, guys, this has nothing to do with you. This is their image. This is the type of stuff they're doing to these guys that come from these other communities, and they wonder why their image is what it is on an international basis. But again, it's going to get even worse as we go along. Well, let's go.
assaulted me a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Nails freshly finished at the salon. At one point, the woman drops her phone.
So she got her nails done in his salon and then scratched them with those same nails. The irony. Let's go.
It's picked up by the salon staff. She leaves it behind. By now, police have been called.
Ended up getting away without paying.
Vu posted video of what happened on social media and says he heard from people who recognized the woman. Police now have the woman's phone.
So she posted that she was getting away without paying online, and that's how she got caught. Man, this is ridiculous. Let's go.
The detective left the shop as we arrived. They're investigating, but so far, there have been no charges.
We just try our best to make money and save money for our family, right?
$165 salon bill that led to this.
You went after.
And for them, that's just the cost of doing business, because a lot of these women, what they do, they already know they're going to get into an altercation. So that's just part of what they're trying to do. Her goal was just to get out of there without paying. And mission accomplished when it came to that. Crazy. But yeah, we got some more. We got another one here. And remember, this is the subject of their image. That's what we're dealing with right now. Then we're going to go into these various countries and show what the results are.
Don't do that on my stuff, okay?
Tense moments over there at a nail salon in West Harris County after police say this woman just refused to pay.
Man, they're giving these little Vietnamese hell, right? You can hear that little, listen to that Vietnamese right here. Say, don't do that. Let's go.
On my stuff, okay?
Tense moments over.
Don't do that on my stuff, okay?
Tense moments over there at a nail salon in.
It's funny but sad at the same time. But these women going there, once again, another bonnet bandit is to blame. But let's go.
West Harris County after police say this woman just refused to pay after getting her nails done. It happened at a store on South Mason Road, and the woman punched a store employee and trashed the place. Now on the run, police are looking for her. Fox 26's Tiffany Justice spoke to an employee at the store, obviously still shaken up.
The employee says she was physically assaulted and the suspect threatened to kill her. The nail technician did not want her face shown.
It's scary because I never had that before.
Investigators with the Harris County Sheriff's Office needing the public's help to identify this woman.
There she is. That's a huge bonnet on her head, but anyway.
Who assaulted a nail tech at the salon in Katy and swindled them out of $280. The attack caught on video.
No, we can't.
And they're going in there getting the most expensive services possible, knowing that they're going to try to skip out on it. The other one was 160 something for nails, and this one $200 and some dollars. And they know damn well they came in there without that money. But again, this is their image. Let's go. You guys don't have an image like this, by the way. For all the propaganda they want to put against you, your image is not this bad. But let's go. Specifically with these people from these other communities. These agents do more business with black women than anybody. So they know them very well.
Do that. You have to let us cut the nail. Yell at me again. Yell at me again. You have to pay.
The employee telling Fox 26 she believes a woman came in knowing she couldn't pay, initially going over how much the nails would cost for what she was asking the nail technician to do.
When I start to do it, I ask her like, you have the money to pay? She said yes. And then I tell her the price. She said yes. You should do it like that.
They better start getting that money up front.
She had the money, she was able to pay, and then when you were all done,
we tell her pay, and then she tried to fight us.
The nail technician saying she gave the woman 3 options, including to take off the nails. The woman, believed to be in her early 20s, refused. They ultimately locked the doors and called 911. The nail tech says she was hit over the head several times.
You have to pay. I already told you what to do. It's like really hurt, and then she catch me that I still have some scar.
The nails the suspect requested took 5 hours. The employee saying it was
beating up on that little Asian woman knowing she didn't have the money. That's crazy. Let's go.
Elaborate long nails with 3D flowers. A close friend and longtime customer saddened by the attack, hoping someone can identify the woman.
I've been coming to her for 5 years. I've been a loyal customer. She does great work. I mean, they're great in here. They're awesome. It's unfair for her to be, or anybody else in this industry, or anywhere you go, you know?
Yep. There you go. That's the culprit right there. But I mentioned this before, guys, but in Chi-Town, right, there's a guy by the name of Tyrone Muhammad. And Tyrone Muhammad felt that he was going to go in and put a stop to these black women getting mistreated in these nail shops and all that, right? So, based on what I just showed you, I want to show you a news clip of him going in there trying to defend the honor of black women, as he saw them as the victims of these Asians in these stores. But how do you defend the honor of people who don't have honor? And we're going to see how that plays out. Let's get it.
Nail shop didn't want to do an on-camera interview, but he says he doesn't believe he's done anything wrong. He says he was only trying to make sure customers paid for the services they received. But several community leaders say the proof is on tape.
Told me to get the H out of his chair. He's not doing my nails. I changed my mind too much.
Charmaine Jones says this cell phone video only captured a part of what happened to her Monday afternoon at the Color Nails near 80.
Now, again, we don't like to do too many ad hominems because we know we can pull people's arguments apart and all that. But guys, listen, look at that. Does that look like somebody who should be preoccupied with their nails? That should be the least of her concerns. She should be worried about her cholesterol level, her diabetes, all these different more pressing matters. But she has the nerve to be concerned about nails, and on top of it, getting into it with these proprietors who are selling her the very service that she wants, but she's in there literally fighting with them. Crazy. My man Ray Hamna, the Hamna Force, is in the house. Salute, bro. D says her breasts are sitting on her stomach. Yeah. Unfortunately, that somebody's probably waking up to that. But let's get some more.
3rd and Stewart. She says she was reaching back, trying to get her sister.
As I was walking out of the door, proceeded to push me and shove me and hit me and attempted to bite me.
And another worker tried to grab the phone of the woman who was
attempted to bite her. Maybe she thought she was a big old one of those wonton dumplings or something. I don't know. Let's go.
Recording.
I take a personal responsibility.
Now, this is that dude, Tyrone Muhammad. So, again, remember, we used him as an example. This is the actual guy. So, in case you guys haven't seen him before, that's him. He's the guy that was going around trying to defend the honor of these black women because they were allegedly getting beat up on by, these little poor 400-pound women were getting assaulted by these little 110-pound soaking wet Asian people. And so that's the reason why he had to, put on the cape and go and take matters in his own hands. But we're going to see how this all played out. Let's go.
And being a vanguard for my community.
The next day, community activist Tyrone Muhammad responded with this, throwing bricks at the windows. He was immediately arrested. And
so he's risking his freedom for the honor of these women, right? So, okay, so he's standing up for the community. And I showed you guys a clip, and I didn't do that, because I didn't believe in, breaking the law and breaking out people's windows and stuff. But I've stood up for people's rights and things like that. I showed you the clip of me going into a store because people were getting ripped off at this particular auto shop, and I kind of went undercover, and they were trying to tell me that my car needed something it didn't, and I confronted the guy, and later on I had to, get corporate involved, and we ultimately got the situation resolved. But I get it. I understand wanting to push back against bad things happening to innocent people. I understand that, but look at how this all plays out. And remember, this is all about their image, right? Let's go.
Charged with misdemeanor criminal damage to property. Today, he defended his action, saying he's met with the owner before to address concerns at the salon, but nothing has changed.
If you saw the tape, you'll see me going in, warning the sisters, telling them to clear this area. This is, we're pretty much at this point, we're commandeering this place. In any neighborhood store, that disrespect our women and children.
Activists have been staging a boycott and
So he's talking about anybody that disrespect the women and children. But what about when the women are disrespecting themselves and they're disrespecting their own children? What's this? You can't just bust a window out for that, right?
Protests following a series of incidents in recent months at the nail salon. Jamal Green has shared videos showing the owner putting his hands on female customers. After grabbing the wallet of one customer seen here, the owner was taken into custody, but he tells WGN the case was thrown out.
We're not about buying.
So they're saying that the guy was snatching purses, and again, I'm not defending these guys if they were just literally putting hands and feet on these women for nothing. But based on the evidence and some of the things we saw, a lot of these women were trying to get out on the bill. So maybe he felt the need to take their purses because he knew they were going to run out the store without paying, things like that. But they don't want to talk about that part, though, right? Let's go.
Green says he had nothing to do with Muhammad's action, but wants to continue to put the focus on how black women are being treated at businesses where they spend their money.
We were there to protest and boycott because we understand how to financially castrate a business, because we just did it on 103rd and they've been shut down for 2 weeks. It's not just one situation at one nail shop. This is happening at multiple nail shops.
But why is it only happening to them? They don't ever ask the question, though. All these other communities can go get their hair and nails done or whatever, and we don't see this. Well, why is it always the usual suspects? Let's go.
I want justice served mainly, and
I want justice served too, and that means that you need to give the fast food establishments a rest for a change. Let's go.
the young black individuals and the whole black community to know that we don't have to accept this type of behavior.
Jones did file a police report for the incident this week, and police say the case is open, but there have been no arrests. The shop is boarded up and closed for now. The owner tells us he plans to reopen tomorrow, and he hopes to meet with community leaders to resolve this.
Now, long story short, he said he was going to open up tomorrow. He did, and the women was right back in there. That's the moral of that story. So he risked his life and limb and his freedom to go in there to defend these women's alleged honor because they're just getting jumped on for nothing. But come to find out, they were still back in that shop the next day. I think I have footage of that too, but you guys get the message. I think you've heard about that as well. But anyway, moving right along, that of course is their image, and we know all too well the image in terms of why they're not successful in dating domestically, because one of the motivating factors is that they want to go abroad because evidently they're not finding what they want back in the States. But we're going to show a few clips, and these are some pretty good clips where this guy's breaking down some of the issues that they may be having. And remember, this is all tied to the image. Let's go.
If I were to leave my husband, there are men lined up who were more than willing to take care of me and my daughter. But
Are they the men that
Listen to that. She said there's men lined up to take care of her and her daughter, right? But watch what the dude asks her. Let's go.
were more than willing to take care of me and my daughter. But
Are they the men that you want?
Yes.
Time out, because listen, this is what women get confused. There's a lot of fucking simps who will do it because they don't have many options. These are the guys that don't have an option, because that's the problem with the game is women feel like because there's always men lined up, they get the fucking delusion that they can have any guy. No, when given the option, you're gonna pick the better option. A woman with a kid is never the better option between a woman without one. I don't care what a man told you, it's about what he showed you. You can sit here and say, he told me this guy told me he want to pay my bills, he told me he want me to have his kid. We're gonna tell you anything to get what we want. So stop believing what he told you and start believing what he showed you. If he did not move you in and he's not paying your bills, who you dated doesn't matter. We will date you, yes, we will fuck around.
Yep, that's the part they don't get. But again, they do all this stuff and it ruins their image. But we're going to get a little bit more. Then we're going to get into these various countries, and I'm going to show you what's going on over there. I'm going to show you some more of this dude going in on these women. So he's making some pretty good points
How old are you?
40.
40?
Yeah.
You got a kid?
Absolutely, yeah.
No man's coming to pay your bills. I'm not gonna lie to you. First of all, you're 40.
But I don't look 40, so that doesn't matter.
It matters.
It don't.
You know why it matters?
Yeah, please tell me why.
Because you don't look 40, but there's somebody who actually is not 40. And I'm gonna go pay her bills because she's not 40. She doesn't have any kids. When I'm speaking on the men, I mean the men you want. Not just the guy that's a fuck around that you like, I don't even want to take serious. We're speaking on the guy that you want.
But there are still those certain guys that don't go by that same thing.
Men will sit here and tell you, this is how we think. You guys will say, no, it's not. This is how you think. But you're a woman telling men how we think. You got this guy over here, he can pay all your bills. You got this guy over here, he lives with his mom on the couch. Which one you picking? If you got the choice.
I'm definitely gonna choose an independent one. I'm not gonna choose a guy that's still staying with his mom.
Right. A woman with a kid is the equivalent.
Yeah, he can do some more work.
Women always holler they the prize. Y'all women are the prize, but some of y'all ain't worth it. We don't want your prize.
Now, that right there was a good point, because I think a lot of women get it twisted, right? Because what they will do is, just because they hear the word prize, they think that that's automatically a good thing. I remember when I was a kid, right? I don't know if they even still have this, but remember those little Cracker Jack boxes? I think they still have them. I don't think I've eaten none of that stuff since I was a kid, but they used to always give you this little prize inside Cracker Jack, right? So these Cracker Jack boxes, you would, as a kid, you would sometimes reach your hand in there and pull out the prize, and a lot of times them prizes was whack as hell, right? But it was just a prize. Sometimes it was okay, but a lot of times they were whack, little cheap plastic stuff, little goofy, little lick on tattoos, like some heart or some garbage like that you didn't even want. But it was, quote, a prize. So a lot of times we would just throw the prizes away, right? But these women, they get caught up on these terminologies, and just because something's a, quote, prize, like it's automatically worth a damn. But I like what the dude says. He says, well, we don't want your prize. So that pretty much sums it up right there. But let's hear that again. Let's go.
We are the prize, but some of y'all ain't worth it. We don't want your prize. We don't want your prize.
I also feel like God is just holding off until I get my man, because he's like, if I give you him now, you're going to pour everything you have into him when you need to help the world.
Stop lying on God. God.
Exactly. They've been lying on. I know God is so tired of them lying on him, bro. Let's go.
He never said shit like that. God told you to fix your insecurities. He ain't never told you not getting.
Yeah, Ray. Yeah, it wasn't because I don't know how to share the link. It's like I want to designate a specific time, because I know a few people want to come up on a broadcast. I just have to decide what topic we're gonna have. But yeah, I can drop the link whenever we decide that we're gonna have a topic. But yeah, did you have a specific thing you wanted to talk about? Because I kind of want whatever it is to be in line with what it is that we're gonna be talking about. But let's go.
No man, because you got so much to give. I said you are insecure. You gonna stress a man out, and you play a lot of games.
This is the problem. Men like.
Yeah, what he said is probably more in line with what God said, because with these women always try to make it seem like God is just on their side and like he ain't got no judgment for them, and that everything that they're doing is his will, right? Let's go.
To have selective hearing. What I'm telling you is the walk that God is asking me to walk right now requires for me to be in isolation.
He ain't never said, God, withhold my man. No, you withhold your man with your attitude.
Yeah, he giving her that business.
Your inability to be in touch with your femininity. So in the 2024th year of our Lord, I'm not finna sit up here and let these women bash men and degrade us and pretend like we don't need one another, because we do. So cut it out. Yeah. Don't independent your.
Yeah, Shao Zulu says lying on Most High is a very dangerous thing to do. These females have no, I guess you meant no idea how blasphemous and dangerous this is. Oh yeah, man, bro, that's just a testament to how lost they are, because they literally are their own God. That's idolatry. If everything that's pouring out of their mind and their heart is of their own making, and they're trying to project it and make it seem like it's God, and he's the one giving them all this direction, because they better be careful, because if it is God that's the one guiding their life, then he don't like them very much because they stay in the ditch. So that's the thing that's so crazy. For all this guidance they're getting from God, then you would think they wouldn't be ruining their lives and the lives of their children, right? But let's go.
As single to death.
Yeah, and I got one more clip from the other dude. Then we're gonna get into some other work. Let's see what you guys say here.
The BBL does not make you in another league. It actually brings you down now.
Some men love it though.
No, we love to play with it. I call them rentals. You're like a rental car. You go out to Miami, you rent that Lamb, you rent that Ferrari. The shit you can't drive at home. It's fun to drive out there, but now I'm not paying for this. This shit going back to.
Because you know a lot of them are going overseas to get the BBLs, and that's not working out for them as well as they would have liked as well. So I wanted to touch on that. So let's get a little bit more.
The rental office when I'm done with it. That's what we do with BBL. But we're not taking that to the parent-teacher conference. Walking in, ass big as the table. Yeah. Like, come on, like, let's stop playing for real. Y'all confuse a man's sexual attention with what he wants as a wife and as an example for his kids.
Yeah, Israel, I agree with that. I don't normally rock with that either, because more than likely, they're not only are they wrong, but then they're being blasphemous a lot too, like me and Shadow Zulu was just talking about. So yeah, I definitely understand that point. Let's go.
As a mother, because automatically we know your mind is the point where you risked your life for a bigger ass for attention. You just risked your life for a bigger ass for us to say, damn, I wonder what that shit look like when I'm hitting from the back. She invested $10K in her body and $0 in her brain. Going to the gym, that is a real investment, because as you're working out and building your body instead of buying it, that's going to build character. That's going to enhance you as a woman. Those women are the women that deserve to get all their bills paid.
Right. Now, this that they have on the dating market based on all this over-sexualization, right? Let's go.
Wow, yeah, I did catch your TikTok. It's really good. The twerking, the little short skirt thing when you turned around, that got me. The twerking against the wall thing, it was abusive what that did to my soul. So, what dating problems could you possibly have with all that equipment?
This is why I hate men, because tell me why I just texted a man that I missed him and he finna text.
Got the nose ring and all, but listen, this is the type of imagery. We're gonna run this back because I want you to see this is what they're putting out there on these platforms, and it's like how this dude was breaking it down that they want to be taken serious in terms of dating, and these other men from these different cultures that they want to fly out to, they see all this too. And most of those guys, their women don't behave like this, but this is what they're putting out there. Let's go.
Yeah, I did catch your TikTok. It's really good. The twerking, the little short skirt thing when you turned around, that got me. The twerking against the wall thing, it was abusive what that did to my soul. So, what dating problems could you possibly have with all that equipment?
This is why
he's being sarcastic. He said, "What dating problem could you possibly have?" Apparently a lot, but let's go.
I hate men, because tell me why I just texted a man that I missed him and he finna text back, I don't know if I can hang out today. I didn't ask you if you can hang out today. I asked you to get hit by a bus, and I don't miss you no more.
Is this what it's come to? Perfectly sexable bodies with little angry men on the inside.
That was funny. Let's go.
Megan Thee Stallion is a Korean assassin.
No, yeah. I know, right? These ninjas.
Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shape. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shape. Hands on my knees.
But yeah, so this is the image, right? And then when there's women who try to talk sense to them, like this woman right here, these are two foreign women. You remember this one? Because, yeah, we started to bring some of the old classic clips, guys, and you should remember this one right here. This foreign, I think she's from Africa, this lady.
After listening and watching a lot of videos, I've come to realize that these men are very innocent. Some are good. They are wonderful people, and all they want is care and love. So why is it so hard for you to do that? And why do you keep making these hateful videos if you don't want them? We want them. They are good people. They are wonderful people. So what is wrong with that? If you cannot cook, if you cannot clean as a woman, actually, how do you take care of your hygiene? How do you clean that wig? How do you clean those nails? I don't understand you ladies. Oh, they are going overseas for women that are beautiful. Honestly, what you're doing to yourself, you're humiliating yourself.
So this is how the other foreign women that they have to compete with. See, when they go overseas, they're thinking they can bring all that ratchetness and all that garbage to these other cultures, but the women themselves are looking at them sideways, and the men are only gonna try to do the horizontal thing with them, and that's pretty much it. And that's the reason why they come back looking crazy. But let's get some more.
You are. There's no way you can insult your fellow women just because we're submissive. Do you even read your Bibles? A woman was meant to be submissive, and leadership, it's for men. Just because you're making money doesn't make you a man. And if you feel like you're a man, please get your girlfriend pregnant and please let us know. From there we will respect you. But all I can say, please let us be. Let the passport pros be.
Yeah, and then this lady right here is from Ghana. I think she has not been online.
These women saying they can.
But she's talking about how these women, when they go to these different countries, they expect for these men to be as lenient as you guys have been domestically. See, because they don't know how good they've had it, so they think the grass is greener on the other side. But then they get over there and it's a whole new ball game. But watch what she got to say. So, like that title, like little caption she says right there, that's how a lot of them think, right? He said we can get our passports too, because why? They want to compete with you guys, right? But let's go.
Can get their passports too. I don't think they realize how crazy foreign men are. Like, you will get your head popped off if you come at your husband sideways. So if you're asking, like, can you get ran through? Sure, that's easy. The shit you do here in the States and how horribly you treat men, that won't fly overseas.
She told him right there. She said, how you do, like all this garbage, like I showed you, all that BS that they do, and they get used to putting their hands on them little Asian dudes while they're in the States because they know that the cops going to come and protect them, and you got Tyrone Muhammad and all the rest of them going to show up. Now, when they try to pull that overseas, that's when you get those videos where they be balled up in the corner crying, turning the camera on, talking about how some little Asian dude, and then a flying, spinning back kick upside her head, because they think that they can take that show on the road and go overseas talking crazy. But like this woman just trying to warn them, you can't do that overseas, but they have to learn the hard way. Let's go.
Horribly you treat men, that won't fly overseas. So good luck with that.
Yeah, so a lot of them finding out the hard way, right? But let's get into the specific countries, right? Because like I said, we're going to break it down by country or by region. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to deal with Europe first. I decided to go to Europe. We just got a few, because a lot of times you'll hear these passport sisters talking about initially how they were able to go and get love in places like Italy because Italian dudes love them so much and all this type of stuff, right? That was the narrative a lot of these women wanted to put out there, such as Crystal and Karazin and the rest of them. But it don't quite work out like that in reality, right? So let me show you some examples of some of their experiences in Europe. And I think first I'm going to start out showing you what they were saying about why they go over there, right? So like this little goofy broad right here. Watch this.
There's really like an Italian man to black woman pipeline. Okay? Like he's dated one, He's attracted to one. He's attracted to only black women. It's very much something. Very much something. Like, I signed up for this jazz class, and it's like a beginner, like, Broadway jazz class. And there's like this Italian man, and he's
Oh, so an Italian dude teaching jazz. Oh, okay.
like older. And
So it's this older guy, this older Italian man. And watch this little weak game and watch how she falls for it, right? Watch this.
he, at the end of the class, he like beelines to me and he's like, "You're just so beautiful. And like, I can't believe I've never seen someone like you like come around to this class." And I was just like, oh. Oh.
So look at how geek she got because this old decrepit Italian dude who's probably slammed them cheeks. She admitted he was an old Italian dude, right? But she's making it seem like this was like the best thing ever. And meanwhile, one of you Negroes go say the same thing that you're lame, right? But she's gushing and blushing, and she's dark as she is, she's still blushing at the prospect of some Italian dude saying whatever he got to say to bust them cheeks. That's all that was, but she's eating it all up, right? Let's go.
Thanks. So yeah, Italian men absolutely adore black women. Like, I don't know what it is.
And you ever notice how they can always make a way to stereotype? If they get one dude from another race that smiles in their general direction, all of a sudden, all of them love them. But meanwhile, one of you Negroes can do something bad, and it's all of us, right? It's just the polar opposite. They do something that they deem as good, then they extrapolate it to all of them. Crazy. Let's go.
But I'm not complaining, and I never will. So yeah, if you like black women, shoot your shot. Shoot your shot.
Okay, so this is how they get themselves deluded into going to these other countries because they hear goofy broads like this because some old, decrepit, horny Italian dude who wanted to play hide the cannoli, all of a sudden, all these Italian dudes love them, and then they carry their goofy asses over to Italy, and they get treated like what I'm about to show you right here.
As a black woman dating in Europe, here is one question that I have never been asked. So, what do you bring to...
Oh yeah, now this one right here is just another one. Before I get into how they're actually treated, this is another example of a deluded woman talking about as if she's getting such good treatment over there in Europe. But just hold on, we're going to show you the truth of the matter, but I'm going to let her finish her goofiness. Let's go.
Table. Stupid. Okay. If anything, on your first or second date here, they will...
And remember what that other woman said about the Italian dude and what he told her. And watch what this woman says that these Italian dudes or these European Jews in general, the type of game that they give them. And I'm going to show you the end result of all of that. But let's go.
Say to you, I bring this, that, the third, the fifth, the 10th. Is that okay for you? I mean, American men could never. So, come to Europe, ladies. Nobody's going to ask stupid questions here like that. And if they did ask, here you go.
Okay, so she's whipping out her passport right there.
Is that enough?
Okay, so you see the goofy arrogance and the attitude, right? Just hold on to that, right? Because they talking big, right? So just sit tight because we're gonna see how true this is because they want to make it seem like Europe is this utopia and they can just go over there and get treated all kind of great, right? So let's see what's actually happening. Watch this.
Hey girl, it's V. This is some brutally hard truth, but this is the dating advice you need. This particular piece of advice comes from my male friends. Male friends.
Now listen very carefully to what this B-dub going to say, because remember, you heard the other two. We got some more, but I want you to pay attention to what she's going to say, and this is what one of her, quote, European friends told her about how he gets down with the black women over there in Europe. Let's go.
Okay? When they ain't trying to sleep with you, they are a wealth of information. Girl, if you give it up, it's over. Because then they know what it's like. One of my male friends told me this. I was actually really pissed at him. I mean, I understood later, but he said he went out. He went on one date with this girl. He was like, yeah, I threw some money at it. I spent like $700-800 on the date.
So that's what gets these women reeled in, because that's why they want to come to you guys talking about on the first date you got to drop that kind of money, because they hear stories about these European dudes or these Arab dudes or whoever. What they like to do is just throw money at them, because some of these guys might just have it like that, right? So they'll just throw them a few $100s on a date. And a lot of these women get it twisted and they think, oh, he really likes me. He likes me. He really likes me, right? But watch as it unfolds. He's telling this woman exactly what he was doing. Yeah, D is pretty much the oldest profession, but they delude themselves when they go to these other countries that somehow it's different, right? Because they got a different, like, let's say if they're in Paris or if they're in Italy, and you know how gullible a lot of them are, they'll get enamored with the environment and they think that these men, because it's a quote romantic setting, and then they think it's all beautiful, right? But check this out.
We did dinner. It was an expensive restaurant. We did the whole thing. And he was like, and then we went back to my place. And she thanked him by blowing him to completion. And
it looks like that was the first date, right? So this B-Dub or whoever thanked them with a little polish of the dome. And yeah, but watch what happened.
It was like, I never called her again. And I was like, what? Why? Like, this was stupid me. This was a long time ago. It was 10 years ago. And I'm like, why did you never call her again? And he was like, well, because I got, like, the fantasy was over at that point. He's like, I knew exactly, she threw her back and her neck into it. He's like, it's never going to be better than that first time.
Boom, there you go. You hear that part? So these B-Dubs, so they go over there to Europe. They get seduced by these dudes. Like you heard the first two as they were talking, oh, how these guys, they're so, they just want to do so much for them. They want to, sweep them off their feet, right? The moment, like she said, they get what they came for, the fantasy is over, because that's all they see them as, these exotic animals that they could just run through and see what it is. And once they experience it, like she said, the one who did it, she did throw her back into it. Because what she was trying to do was keep the dude, so she wanted to make sure that she, went around. But from the guy's standpoint, this European dude, he was like, no, I've already experienced. It's never going to get better after this. And he's absolutely right, because even if he decides to wife her up or something, she ain't going to be putting it down like that in the bedroom. But she, from her perspective, she was putting it down to kind of lock him down, but it didn't work, right? But that happens over and over and over again, and these women wonder why their reputation is what it is on an international scale. But let's go.
I hit her, gave her back to the city. She home.
I was completely dumbfounded.
So yeah, now she that's how naive they are, man. It's really sad, bro. It really is. So she's naive about it. She didn't understand how the game go, and a lot of them go over there, get busted down, knocked around, and then they want to come back to your town. It's crazy, but let's go. We got some more.
So I decided that I'm going to do a dating wrapped video and PowerPoint, but focusing on the...
So I'm just going to play a little bit. I just want to see if you pick up on what I picked up on, but let's go.
I've dated in, what signs all of the guys are, which was the best date, worst date, most
Okay, so she's all into astrology and all that goofy shit, but let's go.
compatible, who made it past the first date, who ghosted, which apps I used, and in what countries I used those apps.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys caught this, but number one, she's talking about she's been to all these different countries, right? If you notice on her wedding finger, she doesn't have a ring at all. Well, she has no rings, but she certainly doesn't have a wedding band. My question is, if you've been to all these different countries and you dated all these guys and you can rate them, all the ones, what their signs were, who ghosted you, I mean, at what point do you have to look at yourself and see that you're whatever you're trying to offer on the market, no one's taking it, right? And you can only imagine what the body count is, but these are the type of lifestyles these women like to live, and they think they're flexing. She done been to, admittedly, 3 different countries, dated countless guys, and she has enough experience to where she can sit down and basically chronicle all these different experiences and who did what, and it's crazy. So this is the type of passport cis failure that we're talking about. They think it's a win, but they're actually crashing out in front of us. But let's go.
I'm trying to figure out if there are any other major players and what else I should put into this dating route. Okay, am I missing anything? If I'm missing anything, please let me know.
Yeah, you're missing a lot. You're missing the fact that you're just an international bust down and nobody's taking you serious. And women, like I think D said earlier, women who are traveling by themselves internationally always look like a 304. I mean, it's just what it is, ladies. And for some of you ladies who might get this playback, if you're not already in the house right now, that's just a nice little tip. If you're going to be traveling alone, immediately men are seeing you as basically a mobile 304. That's basically what it is. Yeah, let's go.
Because I would love to make this like a work of art, but I feel like I'm missing things. I know I'm missing things.
Yeah, you're missing a whole lot, but unfortunately, she's not going to learn until it's too late. But it is what it is. But watch this too. This is another point I want to make while we're in Europe, and we're almost done with Europe. We're going to go into, I believe, Asia next. But I want you to pay attention to what this woman says, encouraging these women to go to these different countries, such as Europe. They're not telling them about the dark side and how they get discriminated against, particularly in Italy. Right, and it's just like the point I made last week when I said that Christian Karazin, for example, who wanted to talk about swirling and encouraging women to go and, to these other groups of men, which is fine if that's what they want to do. However, to try to present it like it's no downside, she's doing her people a disservice, and that's what we pointed out. And a lot of these women who are encouraging them to go to these European countries, it's the same thing, because a lot of these women are experiencing a lot of racism and discrimination. And that's what they don't want to talk about. And at the same time, if these men love them so much, then why are they not making a more hospitable environment? Why is it that these women go to these countries and they get literally discriminated against, and then yet they want to act like these men love them so much, right? But let me show you this example right here with this woman and what she dealt with. And she's naming her top 3 countries that she never wants to go back to because she got so much racism. But let's go. Check this out.
There is one country that is at the very bottom of my list to ever visit again, and it has the worst culture of racism that I have ever experienced in my time abroad. I'm sharing 3 of the worst countries to visit for Black travelers and travelers of color. Stay tuned for the worst country, but before I get there, Spain, sweetie.
Now, when she says that, she's talking specifically about Black women, and some of them will make videos specifically for Black women telling them where not to go. But again, if these men love you so much in these other countries, and they always bragging about Italy, I showed you the clip earlier when the woman was talking about how the Italian men treat them so well, right? But I also showed you that that's all them, how they are running game on them. But why do they have to make videos like this showing the countries not to go to? Because those men are not showing them any type of protection. Because remember, they're always screaming and crying about how you guys don't protect them, but the very men that they want to flock to, they're not protecting them either, because when you go to their countries, they're still treating you like trash. So let's go.
Have a seat. I have some words for you. By the way, please remember, these are not just my opinions. I can already see the comments saying, it must be her attitude, she probably did something. But please, take 0.5 seconds to Google the history of racism and anti-blackness in these countries first. Now, back to my experience.
And again, they don't have to have done anything, because they can watch TV, they can watch YouTube, they can watch all these different outlets, and they see you as those images. And again, when in some of those countries, when black men go there, we don't even experience the same type of discrimination, believe it or not. But let's go.
I remember being the only black person in the restaurant in Madrid, well dressed. One person even said I was beautiful. And while
See, all somebody got to do is compliment them, and then it's all is well. But this is her talking about Spain, right? Let's go.
For maybe 45 minutes as the servers proceeded to attend to everybody else but me. I was caught up in conversation with the Spanish woman next to me, so I didn't entirely mind waiting, but at some point she even got annoyed for me. She called one of the waiters over without me even asking and asking to serve me, and then the waiter comes up and aggressively takes my food and drink order like he was mad I still wanted food. Like, dang, we didn't get a leave. And then the Asian man came in and they did him the same way, but he wasn't black.
And notice the bull ring is always in effect as well, but just had to point that out. Let's go.
Once an unreasonable amount of time had passed, he was making sure someone saw him and took his order. Now, usually when I tell this story, people are like, Madrid just has bad restaurant service. But there's bad restaurant service, and then there's being the only two people of color in a restaurant who aren't served. That's a little too coincidental. Oh, and I should mention, I speak Spanish. I also remember how weird people were about sitting next to me on the metro in Spain. Like, they look at the seat next to me, and then look at me, and then they'd rather just stand until the seat next to somebody else opened up. Spain has a prejudice problem. I don't care. But you know, I shouldn't even be surprised, because this is literally the country that invented La Casta and helped invent the system of racism that we even know today.
Yeah, but you still carrying your goofy self over there. That's the part that kills me. So you know all that history, but you still want to go over to exactly. D said it's Spain. Yeah, where the hell you thought you were? That's the other thing that's so crazy, because again, they delude themselves, because they are listening to all these other goofy broads who will say, "Oh, go to this country because these men are so romantic." And then I think her number one, ironically, without giving it away, spoiler alert, I think her number one might be Italy or China, one of them. But these are the very countries that they claim are so romantic and they love black women so much. It's incredible. So again, my point was and is, if these men love you so damn much, why are they not creating a safe environment for you to just go over there and have a pleasant experience? Because all the places that black men like to go, they don't have those problems. In fact, they get treated, or I should say, we get treated like royalty, to be honest. And it's crazy. And it fits, because that's our international image, right? But let's get some more.
Even people from Latin America are always telling me in my comments how disrespected they feel when they travel to Spain. And this is one of the
Yeah, Ray, you might be right. She could very well be a witch, because that's another broadcast that we may have to do, because a lot of them are getting into witchcraft a lot. Let's go.
Countries where they throw bananas at black soccer players. For me, the best thing about Spain is getting cheap flights to North Africa. Now the next country. So I've only been to China once, to the city of Beijing, and
yeah, but they love the Asian dudes, though.
I can't lie, I had a decent time. Now that was a shock compared to what I've heard about China. Do y'all remember that one commercial where they put a black man in a washing?
No, D, they don't want to stop going, because that would prove us right. So let's go.
Machine, and he came out clean and Asian. And remember all the videos of black people getting asked for photos like they're a circus attraction? That's why even though I had a good time in China, I had to add it to this list. Some people like to act like the whole photo taking thing isn't about racism. They're just curious. They don't see black people often. Y'all, the internet and TV have been around for far too long. Use that same phone that you were going to use to take a picture and research what black people look like. Some black people get photographed and touched and they think it's a badge of honor, but why would the people of this country with a known history of anti-blackness suddenly think you're so beautiful and great? And have you ever asked?
Well, she's talking to a lot of those black women who like to post those videos where how they are getting treated so well and people taking pictures with them and all of that. Particularly, there's this upshot in women making videos in Turkey of all places, and they're acting like these men love them so much, and because they want to take pictures with them and doing all this. Now, to be honest, some of that could be genuine. Where the people just haven't seen the black person, and because they may be from a small village, so it's not always nefarious. So she might be off there, but as far as her overall point, when you go into these different countries, you're not seen as the quote prize that you think you are. The main thing I wanted to get to was her number one, which I think is Italy, and I want to show you guys what she had to say about that, because that goes directly against what a lot of these women try to profess or try to put out there, like these Italian men love them so much, right? Well, once again, like my earlier point, if these guys love them so much, then why is there so much racism against them in their countries? They couldn't get together and say to the culture, get some legislation, get something going, because we love these black women coming over here, so we don't want to make it uncomfortable for them, so we want to stand with them and push back against this cultural racism. No. They're not getting any of that, but somehow, some way, a lot of them still think these European, specifically Italian dudes love them so much. But let's go.
Detectively, as if I was a gang member and not someone saying, "Excuse me, where is this bar?" It was so bad one time she would say, "So," and she asked the clerk where it was, and he'd tell you, Geno's, the pizza, one of all. People, white people, white skin, white features.
Okay, here you go. Now she's about to get in on Italy, right? Watch this.
Those are universally praised. That's not the same for black skin, black features, or black people. White people don't become president and then get compared to a monkey in a newspaper. One is admired and the other is mocked. And now it's time for the worst one of all. Italy.
So Italy's supposed to be the place to go, right? But now she put this as number one on her list of countries that she never wants to go back to, right? Or that she says it was the worst experience. So let's go.
Not the birthplace of Nutella. I really wanted to love Italy. I wanted to feel like all the white girls did on the back of Vespas, eating croissants.
You see how delusional she thought she was good because she had been listening to the propaganda, right? All the women bragging about how Italian men love black women. So she, like she said, she went out of her way to try to love Italy. But unfortunately, it didn't love her back. And I guarantee you, there was a bunch of disrespect that she was taking that she wouldn't take from you guys. I guarantee you. But let's go.
Sipping cappuccinos, the pizza. But you see, Italy is spitting in my face and now it's over for you. I feel like black people who travel to Italy either love it or hate it. And I think that has to do with the amount of time that you spend there.
Yeah, D, that's true. He said, why are they always attempting to force themselves upon others? Yeah, exactly. Let's go.
Spent about 3 months there studying, and let me tell you, it ain't nothing like the movies. Similarly to Spain, I felt unwelcomed overall as people stared and regarded me with disgust. I once even had a former colleague who told me when she was in Italy, she went into a store to buy soap, and she asked
She said they stared at her with disgust. Now, was it because of the fact that you're black, or was it because of your image based on some of the things that we showed earlier? Which it's hard to tell, right? But let's go.
Where it was, and he said in Italian, "Do you even use soap?" And now she's a black Latina and she spoke fluent Spanish, so she understood what he was saying. People would turn their nose up at me, refuse to give me directions. I remember one time there was a couple I asked for directions, and the man stood in front of the woman protectively as if I was a gang member and not someone saying, "Excuse me, where is this bar?" It was so bad, one time I got lost on a bus and no adult would speak to me, so I had to ask a child for directions. And yes, io parlo italiano. One time I was walking down the street in broad daylight. Shop owners are outside setting up their shops for the day, and I'm walking behind a woman, looking down on my phone, texting. This woman stops, turns around and stares at me and screams. She then jumps off the sidewalk, hides behind a car, and screams again. Now all the shop owners are looking at me, and I'm like, why is this woman acting like I was about to mug her? Y'all, Italy was breaking me. I remember...
He said, we taught them hygiene. Who are you talking about, the B-dubs, or are you talking about the Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain, Portugal, and I think parts of Italy too? Is that what you're talking about? You're talking about history? Let's go.
Crying at the club as one avoided dancing near me, and I just realized how terrible this country was. But the worst thing happened to me this one day. Me and my friends went to the beach. There was a man there who was flirting unsuccessfully with the white girls in our group. And then he just got upset. He starts hurling insults at them, and then one of the black women gets up, goes to the man and goes, "Hey, don't talk to women that way." He then grabbed her and started jerking her around while...
Now you notice what she said. The guy was insulting the white girls because the Italian dude, he was trying to talk to them, but then the black girl is the one that gets up and gets in his face. You see that? She's over in Italy, but she thinks she can get into this Italian man's face, and he wasn't even talking to her. Shao Zulu laughing. Yeah, it's crazy. She literally getting up defending the white women, and the Italian dude's like, "What the hell? I wasn't even trying to get with you." So she gets all in his face, and he rightfully so. I guess he was defending himself, but well, just listen to this.
Up, goes to the man and goes, "Hey, don't talk to women that way." He then grabbed her and started jerking her around while a sea of white faces on the beach did nothing. So I did something. I walked up to him and I confronted him, and when he wouldn't let her go, I punched him in his arm.
Okay, so you're sitting up there, you ain't got nothing to do with it either, so now you're going over there assaulting the dude, and you wonder why these Italians or whoever, that they ain't really messing with you like that because they see how you're getting down. Now notice she ain't mentioned that the white girls were doing anything, and those are the ones who should have had the problem, right? Crazy. Let's go.
When we walked away, he threw beer at us and called us disgusting black women. When I say Italy was my worst travel experience, like I actually hated it there. And Italy has a history of fascism, as we know, and racism, and they like throwing bananas too. Except they also threw them at an effigy of their first black parliament minister. And honestly, black people aren't the only people who get discriminated against in Italy. I've heard awful stories from people of Asian descent as well. Now, I'm not one to tell people not to travel somewhere because of racism. We all deserve to see the world, and we cannot let racism stop us. I just share my knowledge and experiences so that you can be prepared for whatever might come your way when you're abroad. Are there any other countries that you've been to that you caution travelers of color about?
Yeah, but anyway, there you have it. So isn't it ironic that the very home of the place that they claim they love to go because the guys treat them so well, the Italian dudes, that's where they get all the racism, because these guys love them so much that they have not made a safe and happy environment for them to visit, right? But maybe it's for stuff like this, because remember, their reputation precedes them, and when they go over in Europe and they're doing stuff like this, I think you guys might remember this foolery, but let's go. Let me show you something.
I'm trying to get my coochie stretched. I'm trying to get my coochie stretched and eat a nigga ass. Eat a nigga ass. We be eating niggas ass today in London.
So she over there in Europe, London to be exact, and she's over there, this Suki Hana bimbo right here, out in public, doing this type of stuff, and then they wonder why, on an international scale, their name is Mud, because they let this be their representation, right? Let's go.
Period, baby. I'm trying to get this coochie stretched.
Yeah, so that's real ladylike behavior, right? So anyway, yeah, so you see why they are not really popping over there in Europe. So let's go to Asia, right? Let's go to Asia. And I showed you earlier how a lot of these women interact with Asians in America. So when they go over there, it's kind of funny because they don't get much love as well. And I know you guys are familiar with this story. We just touched on it in the past, but this is another example.
You chilling here?
I don't live here, I'm chilling.
You chilling here? Why are you not taking your flight?
You should know the backstory on this woman over there in Pakistan. Let's go.
Business, now go home. I'm not talking unless y'all giving me land and 2,000 or more every week. You hear me?
Yeah.
I'm getting my Pakistani passport and Pakistani ID.
You have Pakistani ID?
I'm getting it. Do y'all agree? Mind your business. What? Talk.
But remember, this is international. This is on an international stage. This is their image. Let's go.
You have a Pakistani passport?
I'm getting one. Do you have one?
I have Pakistani passport.
Oh, you do?
Why are you?
Okay, good. Listen.
What are you doing here?
I don't live here. I'm chilling.
You chilling here?
It's none of your business. Now go home. Here. Take it.
What are you doing here?
Take it.
Not your place. If you haven't find him, what's your
Back that up.
Oh.
So I see a lot of interest in this American lady who's landed in Pakistan to find her lover.
Yeah. So again, their reputation precedes them, right? And we got some more. We got more. Again, we dealt with Europe. We're just dealing with Asia. You wait till we get to Jamaica. But check this out. This is what's going on as well over. I think this is Thailand.
A British and an American woman are facing years in a Bali jail.
No, I'm sorry, that's Bali. So this is a British black woman and an American black woman. So now they're doing tag team effery from the UK and America. They're teaming up, going over there, messing up Bali, right? So this is what they're doing over in Bali. Let's go.
A British and an American woman are facing years in a Bali jail after they had a row with staff in a salon. The women are, however, claiming they were held hostage when they tried to go to a cash machine to fetch money to pay. The manager of the nail studio, however, is saying that the two women refused to pay.
Damn, look how they got. Look at this, bro. I don't even remember seeing two black dudes in a foreign country being escorted by armed guards in their county oranges or the prison oranges. Look at this. They got them like they're war criminals, bro. Look at this. This is crazy. Yeah, D, you might be right about that. They might be the lesbos, but this is crazy. A Brit and from America. So you can't just pin it on the U.S. That's what I was telling you. It's the Western woman's mentality. But this is what they're doing on an international scale. Let's go.
To fetch money to pay. The manager of the nail studio, however, is saying that the two women refused to pay. The duo were arrested when they tried to leave Bali and board a plane for Thailand.
So they were trying to get out of Bali so they can go F up Thailand as well. So it is crazy. But again, we're just showing evidence as to why their passport SIS movement has crashed and burned. That's the reason right there. And to further illustrate my point that it's mostly a Western woman thing, while we are going in on the B-dub primarily, you got the white women over there in Thailand complaining about the white men as well, and which is ironic because to hear the B-dub tell it, it's only you Negroes that want to go abroad. But check out what this white woman got to say.
This woman traveled to Bangkok, Thailand, and right at the airport, she made a very interesting observation about the passport bros.
Honestly, the amount of white dudes with Thai women that are waiting to board international flights, it's an absurdity.
Okay, so she's talking about the amount of white dudes that are boarding flights with Thai women. She said it's an absurdity, but the white men basically pioneered that. And in fact, they were the ones that started the manosphere and all that stuff. But the B-dub will have you think that it's only you Negroes who want to go to these different countries. That's the crazy part. Let's go.
It is crazy.
Now that she says a lot of white men, hold on a minute.
Black men from America that can't get no so they go to third world country.
So she's trying to make it seem like black men are the only ones to do it, and the fact that those of us who have traveled abroad, as if we couldn't get a woman, much less something like her. This is crazy, bro. But this is what they're trying, the narrative they like to paint. Meanwhile, they're the ones that's going over to these countries. Jamaica, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. They're the ones going over there tricking something terrible, right? But let's go.
I haven't seen a white yet. Are there white men in this? Because I feel like it's only men.
I guess.
So she talking about she probably never even left the country, but this white woman is over there in Thailand, and she's talking about all the white men she sees, which I'm sure very much so outnumbers the black dudes. But let's go.
It's a Western men thing, not just black men.
Like half of the couples in this airport right now are beautiful Thai women with super basic white dudes.
Now you see, even the white women be throwing shade at the white men because she said that the dudes were super basic, but they're with these attractive Thai women, and she said it's like half the airport. So them are the main ones doing it. And like I said, they were the ones that stuff because they've been sick of their feminized white women, and they were not as aggressive and unladylike as unfortunately the women from our community are, and they left a long time ago, right? Well, let's go.
And yes, her comment section were full of passport bros, and they were having none of it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, but that's how crazy the game is because everything is trying to demonize your image. But let's get some more. I want you to see something about how some of these women are treated over in Korea, right? Let's go.
Hasn't been so great.
And let's be honest, this right here is an exotical, right? And I want you to pay attention to something. A lot of these type of women right here, they'll go over to these countries and they'll be saying it under the guise of them being black, but a lot of them look like they're at least part Asian, and they're not even getting no love as well. But I want you to pay attention to some of what these women are going to say about their dating experience. And I believe she's in Korea. But let's go.
My dating experience in Korea hasn't been so great, and I learned kind of the hard way Korean people don't really like black women so much.
Now, if they don't like black women like her, then this pokes a hole into some of them goofy broads like the Joker, Exoticals United, who tries to claim, well, Exoticals can go to these different countries and they can blend in better and all that. No. Them other cultures don't play that same game. If you're not one of them, fully, even though she looked like she might be part Korean or whatever, they ain't effing with her like that, especially when she's coming in under the umbrella of being a quote black woman, because they already know what the image of black women is. Like I showed you earlier, when it came to those nail salons and those hair shops and all of that, those are the same people that sell them the product. You don't think that those dudes are calling their relatives back home, talking about how they just had to fight this 300-pound black woman off of them as they were running out the store with their hair weave and all that type of goofiness? Yeah, let's go.
So I've tried to use a lot of Korean dating apps, and I used a lot of American dating apps, Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, etc. And usually Korean people, if I use a Korean app, I get a lot of negative responses, and Korean people have told me I shouldn't be on the app. And
damn, so they outright telling her she shouldn't be on the app. And again, if you close one eye and squint the other one, I'd be goddamn, I would think she was a Korean. And they like, hell no, you ain't one of us. You get your ass off this app. We don't want you. That's basically what she's saying. And she's looks like the same complexion as one of them and all of that. But again, once she comes in under the guise of being a black woman, that reputation precedes them. But let's go.
And they're not looking for people my color, things like that.
But yet she got a goofy ass over there, as per usual. Let's get some more. Let's get some more. Here's another exotical.
I feel more single being here, and as a black person I don't have the, unfortunately, confidence to be like, oh yeah, let me just go up to that guy, because the language barrier. And in Korea it's very obvious that like white is the standard, white is like preferred, like a lighter shade. And if a white girl and a
So you notice how they're putting themselves in all the disadvantages. So if they're going over to these countries for the purposes of business or what have you, that's one thing. But what the hell are they going over there expecting to get in terms of dating when those cultures, I think Korea, for example, is the top place for cosmetic surgery and lightening and all that goofy shit. So when they go over there, they are putting themselves at a competitive disadvantage because your phenotype doesn't fit their standard of beauty. And look at D said that Black Eater. So yeah, regardless, that she's claiming that she's black, but look at how she's being treated, even though her features are more in line with their phenotype than say the average unambiguous black woman. So imagine what the unambiguous black women get when they carry their goofy asses over there thinking that these Korean men want them as well, right? Let's go.
Black girl were like standing next to each other, I feel like 9 times out of 10 they would choose the white girl because it's kind of what they've been shown as popular and mainstream and attractive.
Yeah.
I feel more.
But then they wonder why they can't go and get the same love that you guys get, right? They're supposed to be the prize, but when they go to these different countries, they get a rude awakening, and then they cannot get the same access and respect that you guys get. And again, I'm not even saying that they shouldn't travel or do things, and if they're trying to better their life or what have you, but they have to understand the reputation that they've created for themselves. And in the meantime, they could start trying to clean that up instead of trying to denigrate our image every 5 minutes, right? So let me show you something else, because the thing about Asia, right? These women, they've done a very incredible job of putting Asia on the map and making it more hot and more popular than what it should be. Just like with some of these so-called female rappers like Sukihana, I showed you her earlier, because that name Sukihana, that's a Japanese word, right? And then what they like to do is call themselves like China this or Asia that, and they do that trying to make themselves seem like they're either Blasian or they're part of Asian culture. And that's what that broad Megan the male horse, I mean Megan the Stallion, that's what she was doing. And I'm going to show you some stuff about her and how she basically has put on these Japanese culture and whatnot, while at the same time it's not reciprocated because the black woman's image is not being elevated in these relative cultures. But I'm going to show you a few small clips of how this Megan the Stallion is making Japanese, or this particular rapper dude who wasn't even that popular, she done made him a superstar essentially, and putting a positive light on Japanese culture. Meanwhile, she and her sisters are not getting that same type of reciprocation. But in case you guys don't know who Megan Thee Stallion is, even though you should, because I didn't know her until I think late last year when we did a few stories on her. I thought her name was Megan the Stallion, but now it's Megan the Stallion, which is even more grammatically incorrect. But anyway, don't get me started on that. But I'm showing you this to show you this is her with no makeup. And then watch after she puts her makeup on. And that's her with the makeup. And you notice how they try to do their eye to try to get the Asian eyes with that, to try to emulate that look. She's doing it right there too, but she really did it when she puts her makeup on. But this is this is what they look like without that, right? But she still got maybe one of those lace fronts or something on. But anyway, let's go.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let them know we on.
Yeah, so that's the one right there. But I want to show you guys something as far as some of the things that she's doing to help elevate Asian culture, right? So you remember this goofiness that she did for the Democrats in Kamala. Okay, so she made that song, right? And she did it with a little Japanese dude And I want you to show. I want to show you how she done basically put them on, and how this is all working for her and black women in general. Let's go. Japanese dude get to come out on the world stage because she putting them on because she put him on that track. But yeah, okay, so that's that dude, and I'm gonna show you another song she has out where she's promoting this other. I think he's Japanese as well, and I want you to pay attention to this lyric. One of these lyrics he's gonna say. Watch this.
Yeah, we gon' forever. You know that we never play. Yeah, we gon' forever sway. And make them hunger wait for Asian and be played away.
Okay, so this is an Asian. Israel cracking up. This is an Asian dude right here, and if you listen to that lyric he just said, I'm gonna play it again. I want you to make sure you caught that.
Never play. Yeah, we gon' forever sway. And make them hunger wait for Asian and be played away.
So she's saying that Megan's making a way for Asian men to get paid. That's what he said. And then she remember this is her second Asian dude because she already put the other Asian dude on, Yuki, and now she got this dude rapping about how Megan is making a way for Asian dudes. But my question is, are Asian dudes making a way for black women to come over there and get love? Apparently not. Let's get some more.
Shit is a toxic kitchen moss, but you know people be false and bars. It was just bossy, pour the sauces on the face of the beat boss and bars. Me and Nazis, every time phone be on some of the artists. Got your wallet, sabotage me, business, sweat for the cost.
Yeah, but I'm just showing you this is the type of art they're making, type of videos. A lot of these black women are flocking over to Asia, which they're getting no love, as I showed you. It's crazy. But yeah, you know how that story ends though, right? Now, let's go to the moment you guys been waiting on. Yeah, Ray Hamlet laughed. He said rapping off beat. Yeah, they were, man. You see how that dude was rapping off beat? He said that might be the same dude who did a song with my girl Utada. Yeah, could be. And Shadow says offbeat, he needs the Milli Vanilli remedy. Yeah, something. But you notice how she put him on, and now he's the hottest thing smoking probably over in Japan, and he got on an international stage. But again, the reason why I'm showing you guys this is that these black women, they're making these Asian dudes rich in the form of buying all this hair product stuff, getting their nails done. All you see is a bunch of money flooding out of their communities into these Asian communities, and they're putting them on as far as in the music industry. Meanwhile, they can't even go over there and get respect. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. But again, let's go into where it gets real crazy. Because remember, the other part that they wanted to say was how you guys are so thirsty that you got to go over to these various countries to get some loving, right? Okay, let's see what these women are doing when they go over there. Let's see how they getting down. Check this out. Yeah, watch this.
You rather stay here to eat. Why didn't you didn't win a green card? Get me out of Jamaica because you said they don't eat. And
now it's been blurted out, but she's basically going off on a Jamaican dude. This exotical right here. She wants this unambiguous black Jamaican dude to kind of eat out that rot box, that tow up little container that she has. She's mad that the dude won't do fellatio on her, and she's threatening the fact that he won't get his green card unless he does it. Let me run it back.
You rather stay here to eat. Why do you don't want a green card? Get me out of Jamaica because he said they don't eat. And his lady don't respect him if he want him to eat. Ziggy Marley, this why you paddling alone. Paddling alone. Paddling alone. Because you're not eating.
So she's mad that these Jamaican dudes got, even in their depressed state, even though they might need the money, even a Jamaican dude that's over there in poverty cannot bring himself to go down on that rotten box she has. So shout out to the Jamaican dude. I know we go in on them because they thirsty as hell, but I gotta respect and salute him for having standards to not deal with this right here. But yeah, here we go again.
You rather stay here to eat. Why do you don't want a green card? Get me out of Jamaica because he said they don't eat. And his lady don't respect him if he want him to eat. Ziggy Marley, this why you paddling alone. Paddling alone. Paddling alone.
So if it was a video of one of you guys over there in one of these countries basically trying to extort somebody out of a head job, then you would look like the thirstiest thing walking. You would look like a predator. You would be all these different names. But meanwhile, she can go over there and got the nerve to film it. Yeah, I'd be damned. I mean, I wonder what she's doing off cam, right? But she's going over there basically trying to extort these dudes into going down on that nasty box of hers. It's really quite sad. But let's go.
Because you're not eating.
Yeah, but that's what they doing, and they wonder why they cannot be passport sisters is because they that's how they get down, you know. They get down like that, but it gets worse. It gets worse. This is how a lot of these women are getting busted down over in these different places, right? It's really kind of messed up. But I'm going to show you guys something, how it really kind of goes down, how them Jamaican dudes, the ones that really can go ahead and stomach dealing with some of them, they'll go ahead and bust them down, something like this, because they got something out there, and this is just a dance. They call it daggering, but look at this. This is how a lot of them B-dubs going down there getting busted down. Check this out. I'm about to play this a couple times. I'm sure you guys didn't even maybe believe what you just saw, but that is how Ray Hama. Yeah, man, it's crazy. I'm gonna run that back, but this is just a dance. So imagine what them Jamaican dudes are doing to them in the bedroom. But look at this. You know it's going down when they start screaming Bumbleclad, but let's go. That is insane right there. Let's go. Yeah, so that's how y'all B-dubs are getting busted down there in Jamaica, bro. They may not be eating them, but they beating them. I'll put it like that. So they down there getting it in, and yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's how it goes down. And that's what they do when they go overseas. And on top of that, they be taking L's, because a lot of these Jamaican dudes be running game. But let me see. I got this other one. Let me run this clip, because I want you to hear it just from the Jamaican dude's point of view as well. Let me see. I think I got one video where the Jamaican dude's talking about it.
Dating a Jamaican man.
So mama make
Me.
you have to know gangster. You can't see me with the big old blood clot 9.5 inch and this is.
Now that's a different clip. But yeah, it did this little skit because them Jamaican dudes be going upside their head when they start getting out of line. But they want to talk about how you guys are always bashing, but they literally getting bashed down there. Let me see if I can find that other clip where it's Jamaican dudes talking about how he be getting down. Thought I put it in this folder. Let me look for it real quick. Hold on. I might have put it in a different folder. Yeah, you know what? In the meantime, I'm gonna play this one. Yeah, I play this one right here.
My fucking birthday, I went to Jamaica, so I'm pregnant by a Jamaican. I fucked a random Jamaican in Jamaica.
So this woman right here said she got busted down by a random Jamaican.
Why do you don't want a green card? I don't know. Eat some pussy and get a green card. Eat some pussy, yeah.
So I just wanted to play that clip because the other one they blurted it out. They, but I know you guys could decipher what she was saying anyway. But I just want you to hear it from the horse's mouth, and she does kind of look like a horse. But let's go.
Millionaire. Eat some pussy. They didn't call security on us. They didn't call security. They didn't call security because they don't eat no pussy. This day one. Look, hey.
Because they know what's up. They don't want that. So let's move on.
They ain't that damn desperate. Let's go
to the next one. So right here it says 80,000 women go to Jamaica every year for sex tourism.
That's crazy. Y'all see that stat? 80,000. How many of those do you think is B-dubs? 80,000 a year go for sex tourism. I don't think that there's black men going in that many numbers to one place. I don't think so. I'm not familiar with those type of numbers. So they're more thirsty than you guys. It's crazy.
I personally met a woman that went to Phil and did this. He was super handsome. She was definitely not. Let's get into it.
80,000 women go to Jamaica every year for sex tourism. Sex tourism for women. 80,000 per year in Jamaica alone. Come on. Come on.
So, I need to know which one of y'all been out here flying across the ocean for some pain. Come here. Come here. Bring me your face.
That's all.
Well, I actually have a video on that.
I forgot to tell y'all about my fucking birthday. I went to Jamaica, so I'm pregnant by a Jamaican. I fucked a random Jamaican in Jamaica.
Come here. Come here. Bring me your face.
Yeah, Israel, they're going to Jamaica and they're also going to, is it Cameroon, west coast of Africa? Yeah, they're all over the place for those, for the soul pole. That's where they're going. They're going to get that soul pole, and the B-dubs is right there along with them. Let's go.
It is so sad that she actually had no problem talking about that. She has no problem. You see the smile on her face. She's, she thinks that's funny. That's horrible. But let's keep it moving. So this is not a passport sis showing off. Let's see what she has to say.
Plus size women, if you ever felt insecure, if you ever felt like you was too big, if you ever felt like you was just so wide, how you doing? Good, thank you. If you ever felt like you just so fat that nobody's on.
So this is where this cross between Ronald McDonald and the Hamburglar and Grimace all rolled up into one. This is where these type of women go to get all that confidence. Because remember what she's saying. Look at her talking about she can go down to Jamaica and get treated basically like a big queen, right? Them Jamaican dudes are earning every dime of that money they're getting. Let's go.
I love you, girl. Come.
What in the extra F is that? Oh my God. What is that? She down there them Jamaican dudes going down there. They busting that down too. Come on, Jamaica. My goodness. Let's go. She down there getting her back blown out too. Them Jamaican dudes are working overtime, bro. Damn.
To Jamaica, they love us.
You see the deception. So she thinks that those Jamaican dudes love them. They're doing that. They may be doing it for the green card, but they're definitely doing it for the greenbacks. They're doing it for the money. And them dudes are down there earning every penny. If they gotta sit there and bust that down, that's crazy. But that's where they get all this extra confidence from, because you guys ain't dealing with that. But there's another guy down in the Caribbean, down in Jamaica, that's doing the dirty work, and I do mean dirty. But let's go.
It's just the truth. It's what me saying.
Yeah, this is the clip I was talking about. This is a Jamaican dude, or as he like to call himself, he called himself the Yardie Man, right? This is what their position is on this whole thing. But let's go. Because remember, them overweight B-dubs was like they love him, right? But this is what he got to say about it.
My son said, when we see a foreign girl, we see them as opportunity first.
He said when he see foreign girl, opportunity first. Let's go.
Is when me say, you might see we as love, but we see we as opportunity. Just like
and that's what the woman just said. He said you might see it as love, but she see it as opportunity. He see it as an opportunity. Let's go.
If me they are Jamaica, and me see a girl where they are Jamaica, me not expect nothing from her. Me never expect she to take care of my family, them or take care of me and give me money. Me just look at Jamaican girl because me naturally see her and like her. When me
So he's saying when he see a Jamaican girl, he naturally likes her, right? That's his own women. But when he see these foreign women, they basically a lick, they basically a trick, and that's what it is. But let's go.
see a foreigner, me and look, me and see opportunity. Is what me and say before me even think about even know her, me and see opportunity. Me and see the lifestyle where she can make me live, and me and see say she can take me out of the ghetto and can become foreigner and make me can live some better life.
That's all it is. It's a come up for him. He's just looking for opportunity. He make his life better. That's all it is. So if he got to get on Big Bertha and ride her for the next 5 minutes, give her the best ride, and she start pouring out her pockets like a Russian river, just pouring money at this dude. Hey, he doing what he got to do. Somebody got to pay for that gold chain around his neck, right? Well, let's go.
Me not see you as somebody where me that love and want to deal with for the rest of my life. It's just the truth.
He don't want to deal with her the rest of his life. Let's go.
The funny thing is that whenever you hear about the green card scam, it came from women, from them going to Jamaica, bringing the men back here, and they will always get, scam off that green card. And because of that, they use that to scare men from not going to other countries. The man right there, he's telling you, y'all, they see these women, westernized women, as opportunity.
Yeah. So exactly, and once again, another projection. It was them the ones getting took for their money in the green cards and all that, but then they want to make it seem like it's you guys when it's a higher percentage of them getting that work, and it's been like that from the beginning to this day, to this very day. Oh, did somebody say to this day? Oh yeah, by the way, we're starting to bring over some of our old classic clips. Y'all didn't think we forgot, did you? We got to put in the work sometimes and bring over some of our little classics.
This day, to this day, to this day.
Yeah, we basically exported all our little clips, so we're gonna start bringing those back online. But anyway, yeah, guys, that's how bad it got. I know it was crazy, but that's what those are the reasons that a lot of these women cannot and will not be successful passport SISs, because they got to go over there and get that type of experience. They go down there to Jamaica, for example, and they getting ran through and run down and beat down hard like this. This how they getting that work. They get the bumper clock beat out of them. Yeah, so that's what they going down there doing, and you've seen those videos of them on those water rafts. I think I had clips of that too, but you know where they get those, they be on those dirty rafts, and then those dudes just wiping them down with soap or whatever. It's crazy, but they got all kind of little goofy stuff they go down there and get done to them. But in the meantime, you somehow are the international trick. You are the one that's thirsty. You the one that's desperate. But meanwhile, a lot of dudes are still out there successfully going to these different countries. They're getting married. They're having better lives. They're living their lives. Some of us live abroad now. We've been living abroad for quite some time, enjoying our life. And they, meanwhile, are going through all those different types of issues, disrespect, getting lied to, getting took for green cards and money. And they wonder why, as a collective, they don't have a good international image. And that, my friends, is why the passport SIS movement, quote unquote, to the extent you can call it that, because it's a movement that's not moving, that's why it crashed out and burned. And why it will continue to do so as they try to emulate you out of sheer jealousy and just being masculine on their part, their fake attempt at masculinity, and it's going to continue to crash and burn and crash out and all of that. But anyway, that's the broadcast. I appreciate you guys for once again showing up and showing out. We are going to be putting up new credits as well. We're redesigning some things. Appreciate all of you for being in the house. Those of you going to tune into the playback, you know, you contribute by just showing up, hitting the like button, sharing it, all of that. If you want to give to the Zelle, that's cool. We don't require any of that, but we do recommend, you know, using one of those various ways to show your appreciation. Thank you once again for being in the house. And yeah, D, you know what? I already know what it was, but it automatically defaults back. But I'm gonna make sure that I go in and always check the settings before we crank up the live. So, but yeah, thank you guys for the feedback. And he said, "Did I write it down?" No, I don't need to write it down. I know exactly what to do, D. Because you got to remember, I already have been playing clips before that showed up. It's just because of the way the settings are, this keeps defaulting. But anyway, I got you, D. Going forward, the volume should be good, okay? But anyway, once again, thank you for showing up and showing out. I'm going to end the way we always do. We're not just a broadcast. We're a squadcast. That's a very big difference. Mission complete. Over and out.